Represent your club. Honor the badge you are wearing. Shape the legacy of your club.
Another trophy for him.
Represent yourself. Inspire others with your talents.
The winner of the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final.
Become the greatest among the best.
It's Malaba!
Bring that trophy home. For your nation, for your club, for yourself. It's time to fame your game.
I've been looking for a sign, just a light to guide my way through the dark.
Fresh like water.
I'm gonna find my way home, taking the wind.
I just played football because I absolutely loved it.
Ele tirava sempre.
As medalhas são originais.
Saudade. Quando tu lembra algo que tu já teve.
Es el mejor jugador de la historia del fútbol mundial, ¿no?
Oh my goodness!
He's the Tom Brady of women's soccer.
Anything can happen and everything is possible.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Well, the journey to become a FIFAe World Champion for many started years ago. But today, that dream can become a reality for just one. 3 days ago, 32 players took to the Bella Arena here in Copenhagen in a bid for ultimate FIFA glory. and today only 4 remain. Whatever the outcome today, these players are World Cup semi-finalists, but only one will lift this trophy and walk away with $250,000 US and be able to call themselves the best FIFA player on the planet. Well, welcome then, Rachel Stringer and Spencer Owen here to bring you the finals of the FIFAe World Cup. Spencer, I've just kind of set the scene, said what's at stake. 4 players left, 3 from Europe, 1 for South America. What a moment for these 4 players.
Incredible moment. It's just so good to be back in the midst of this. You know, it's going to be an unbelievable next few hours, and of course they're going to be feeling a bit nervous, but the person that handles those nerves the best could just be taking home that trophy.
Yeah, I mean, Mo Alba is still the reigning champion. He lifted this trophy a couple of years ago now, back in 2019 in London. He was from Germany. We have a German player in contention. Can it go to the same nation, Spencer?
It definitely can. I mean, he's got a great chance. Omer's been very impressive, but there's 3 very capable players standing in his way. And the trophy's been in Germany for 3 years. That's a long time on a technicality. Maybe it's time for it to go somewhere else. We're going to find out.
I mean, the stakes have got a bit higher as well. Look at the pods here next to us. They're no longer behind us. They are now centre stage. Who is going to handle the pressure? We're about to find out. But before we do that, let's meet our 2 casters for this momentous occasion, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley. I want to hear your thoughts, boys.
Thank you very much, Rachel and Spen. Yeah, what an opportunity we're here. Nearly 3 years ago, we last had a FIFAe World Cup in person. It was in London. It was Mo Alba that won it. As those guys just said, there could be a back-to-back German winning today.
There could be. There definitely could be. Omer is a fantastic player, but any of the 3 other competitors could be lifting that trophy. Just want everyone just to calm down a little bit. We're at a FIFAe World Cup Championship Sunday. This is a fantastic feeling. The arena is filling up very slowly behind us, and I cannot wait to get the action underway.
It really is an event like no other. $250,000 someone will be picking up today. A chance for Italy and also Argentina to make history. They've never won a FIFAe World Cup before. Safe to say they are in safe hands because they've got 2 fantastic players that are in this Final 4 also.
Well, everyone has a story. You've got Nicholas maybe to make history, potentially being the annals as the best FIFA player of all time. Oberon to take a trophy home for Italy. Emre Yilmaz to have the best rookie season of all time. This is what we are playing for. And look, the clock is ticking. We cannot wait to get underway.
Yeah, well, we'll hear it a bit more from us when the games do get underway. But for now, let's throw over to the studio to build up our first semi-final.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Well, welcome then to the studio up here as well. We absolutely love being based up here for the last 3 days. This is the final, of course. Mike LaBelle is still with me. Mike, I mean, welcome to this FIFAe World Cup finals. I mean, it feels a little bit more tense in here than it has done the last couple of days. Let's just get a word from yourself on how life-changing will it be for one of these 4 players to lift that trophy on the stage?
Well, it's something that can never be taken away from you. You're always at that claim of being the best FIFA player in the world, at least for that year. You've got the Ballon d'Or opportunity, you've got the financials, the partnerships, the sponsorships, the endorsements, the negotiations, a lot of leverage. And it really impacts your future, not only as a player, but as a creator and as somebody that's going to be ingrained in the history books.
Yeah, ingrained in the history books for sure. Well, Mo Alba will lose his title after today. It will go to somebody new. Let's remind ourselves of the 4 players who have that chance. Oberon up first from Exceed will be taking on Nicholas 99 FC of Guild Esports. And then we've got Emre Yilmaz taking on Umit, Red Bull Leipzig Umit. And a Hullet player is Emre Yilmaz, of course. I mean, a quick word on the 4 here. Only 1 player has been here before at this kind of stage, and that's Nicholas. Everyone else is a rookie, let's call them.
I wouldn't say that about Umit. I was going to say we probably have 2 veterans in the scene, even with Umit, even though he has a lot of experience. We've seen him in the virtual Bundesliga. We've seen him at Foot Champs Cups. And this year in particular, he's just been so consistent. He's really earned this position. However, like you said, with Yilmaz or Oberon coming into this, not a lot of information, maybe a little bit of hype, some expectation, but we didn't have anything to base that off of other than some of the online results and then playoffs.
And I'm sure, Mike, everyone at home will want to know, in terms of FIFA intricacies, what kind of FIFA are you expecting to see from these 4 players today?
It varies in the matchup because you have to play against your opponent, of course. And when you go into Nicholas games, there's so much structure and tactical work that you have to kind of outthink them. And then we've seen Yilmaz and Obrun just have an explosion of offense. So I'd love to see that on display on the biggest of stages.
Are we going to have extra time, penalties, all the drama?
It's likely. It could happen. Based on yesterday, why not?
Why not? Expect the unexpected. That's what I'm going to say. We are down to our final 4. We have our 2 semi-finals coming up shortly for you guys. The first one, Obrun taking on Nicholas. Let's hand down to Spencer now as he welcomes these 2 semi-finalists to the stage.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, the stage is set. The build-up is nearly complete. And it is time to meet our first 2 semi-finalists. Here they come as they enter the arena. We have Obrun barely conceding a goal, just 1 in the knockout so far from Italy, and we have Nicholas 99 FC, a man who's no stranger to World Cups, of course, from Argentina. Guys, welcome. Before we start, we need to do a little bit of housekeeping. We need to do a coin toss to find out who will have the home leg in the second leg, which basically means you get kickoff if it goes to extra time. Some would say that's an advantage, so we have to do a coin toss to find out who's going to get it. So I'd like to welcome referee James here from FIFA, who has the task of doing this coin toss for us. We've got a black and a blue side. Could you just indicate who's what side?
Black is Obrun, blue is Nicholas.
Okay, please take it away, James, so we can see who's going to win this coin toss. Ooh. I can confirm it's blue, which I believe means Nicholas will be home for the second leg, and Obrun, you'll be home for the first leg. Best of luck, gentlemen. Please go to your booths. And the crowd are getting loud. It's nearly time to find out who is booking a spot in the World Cup final. Will it be Obrun from Italy and Team Exceed, or will it be Nicholas from Argentina and Team Guild? It's time to find out. Over to our casters, Richard and Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, what an opportunity this is for both nations. They've never won a FIFAe World Cup. Today, that could change here in Copenhagen. I mean, you look at the run that both of these 2 players have had, especially Obrun. He got a lot of success in the domestic leagues out in the East Serie A, where he won it this year with Torino FC. He's played for his national side also in Italy. He's had that level of experience compared to Nicholas, who's had a very different FIFA year this year, but once again, consistent as ever, won the Champions League, qualified for his 5th FIFAe World Cup. He's used to being on a big stage.
He certainly is. Nicholas knows what it takes to get over the line in these tournaments. Champions League, you look at a number over the course of 5 years, he's got an encyclopedia of FIFA tournaments and FIFA victories. This is the big one. If he wins this today, I think the conversation that you need to be having is not only the best player in South America, not only the best player in Europe, but the best player to ever play on the sticks in the FIFA Global Series era. Nicholas 99 FC not only enters the conversation, but leads the conversation.
Yeah, and let's not forget what he's done in terms of inspiring Argentina as well. The players we've seen come through, especially the likes of Matias Bonano, off the back of what Nicholas achieved. Yago on that too. Valen, they're going to be involved in a few more tournaments coming up over the next few weeks. But you spoke about the accolade list of Nicholas. This year, Champions League winner, pocketed a huge lump of cash there. He's a playoff winner. He came so close in 2019. Let's not forget that. He was in a PlayStation final against Moab, where he could turn around and say, look, I lost to the winner.
Penalty shootout as well. One of the greatest games of FIFA of all time. If we can get something even close to that today, we'll be losing our heads. The arena will be going crazy as well. On the other side of the coin, you talked about Obrun. He has been an outstanding talent in this tournament. He flew through the groups. No one was even close, really, in Group B. And then he came into the knockouts. I was in the lobby in the hotel last night catching up with a few of the players, and I saw Didi Chris Lito. I think Mike LaBelle was asking him, Didi, what happened in that knockout game? Very simple. Didn't get a shot. Didn't get an opportunity to even have a sniff at goal.
Look at the setup here in Copenhagen, here in the Bella Arena, where we're going to be concluding this year's FIFAe World Cup. As we said, we haven't had one for the last 2 years, but today there will be a 14th FIFAe World Cup champion crowned. And what an opportunity this will be for one of these two players. We have to talk about it. You win this game, you quadruple your prize earnings. Currently, so far for getting a top 4, you've got $25,000. If you win this game, $100,000. But money won't mean much today. It's all about that trophy first and foremost.
That is what they've come to deliver. They've come to take home a trophy, and both Exit Esports and Guild Esports on the stage, the two players are ready. We're ready. This is going to be an outstanding display of FIFA talent, of FIFA action. 32 came, 4 remain.
It's just remained so calm, both of these two players yesterday, just in terms of the typical conversations you have. We're going up to a player and saying, you know, how you feeling? Is this the year that it's going to happen? And obviously you'd expect confidence, but there's been so much confidence from these two. We're getting our FIFAe World Cup 2022 underway in literally 3 seconds time. It's semi-final time here, and it's leg number 1 between Obrun and Nicholas. 2 legs of FIFA as always, an aggregate scoreline being the rule-ins of what will decide who will go through to an E-World Cup Grand Final.
In September, when you sign up, when you tick that box to say, yes, I want to compete, this is the opportunity that you may have. This is the dream that you set upon yourself, and here we go.
Absolutely. This is the tournament like no other, the FIFAe World Cup. A chance to put yourself into the FIFA archives for life. A title that no one can take away from you. Many years on, we still talk about that selected few that have had ultimate glory in competitive FIFA, dating back from 2004 to today. It will be Obrun, kicking from left to right here in his Exceed Esports kit, the team that he's been representing this year. Nicholas of Guild. It was only a few months ago he picked up a trophy this year with the Champions League, and a very action-packed final. That one was against the fellow Argentine. Could be in for a first chance here. Mbappe looking to build like a cricketer or two. Nice from Nicholas, well defended by Ramos.
Nicholas didn't play to his best standard yesterday. Day 2 was his best performing day so far, but he still went through 2 3-2 victories in the round of 16 and in the quarter-finals. He got through the Group C, the group of death, on 22 points. He has to play better today if he wants to take out Obrun.
Especially against a player that has looked so convincing, hasn't it?
Flawless, almost, in his approach.
One ball over the top. Ronaldo will go chasing Ramos. Help it on his way. Of course, if you are new to the FIFAe World Cup, Ultimate Team is the mode. This time of the year, it's the best time to have a World Cup. Pretty much every player available to use, including those recent shapeshifter items all over the top. This could be crosses, will be dangerous today, that one. Not too dangerous though for Marquinhos.
And watch those runs from deep as well, from the centre midfielders, even sometimes from the defenders, bombing forward, looking on the overlaps. And when you start to see players moving forward, sprinting forward into the box, a cross won't be too far behind it.
First goal will mean a lot to these two. Just a bit of a easer into this time. It's hard not to get caught up in what this exactly means. Our first time in a long time as well, but we won't have a cross-console final.
Yep.
To conclude this year's FIFAe World Cup. Hard to forget about there for Militao.
Feels very nervy, this first opening. What, 20-25 minutes, couple of balls over the top that Obrun's looked for. Nicholas has defended well so far, and Nicholas had that one little spell where he was trying to play for the extra pass, but nothing really concrete to write home about as of yet. It's going to be tight, it's going to be cagey. $75,000 on the line.
Got to remember though, Richard, Nicholas has played for big cash before.
He has, yeah.
And he's been in very high pressure situations in his illustrious career so far as a FIFA Pro player, as he looks to dance forward with Cristiano Ronaldo that time. But on the flip side, as we've been speaking about this whole time, especially with players like Emre Yilmaz, first FIFAe World Cup for Obrun too. Yes, there's expectations personally, but they've got no past record or recollection of being in a FIFAe World Cup. So right now, the fact they've even got a top 4 is incredible. They're thinking, why not go one step further?
Everyone that you spoke to coming into this event, though, Oberon was the name. I said it yesterday. He was the player that nobody wanted to face. He's been doing outstanding things from Italy. Look at the Serie A, look at those Europe East qualifying standings as well.
And overall, it's just been a good year for Italy. I think they had 4 players in the top 10.
A fantastic year.
FIFA.gg's places, no doubt that comes from domestic leagues and just the infrastructure in Italy. Paths and foundations that the likes of Principe and Fabio D'Annunzio set many years ago. I can assure you one thing, with no Spanish players left in the tournament, there'll be a lot of people supporting Nicolas today.
I think a lot of people just want Nicolas to win as well, for he deserves it. Do you know what I mean? When the Champions League victory went his way, there was a real outpour of sort of positive emotion from all over the world saying he deserves this, he's earned this, he's grinded for this, and I think you get a very similar result. On the flip side of it, everybody who feared Oberon, there's a reason. He deserves to be here.
One ball over the top again, looks dangerous. Hullet might find a cut back. João Cancelo stands in the way, just gets the deflection. It's a poor ball out though from Alphonso Davies. Oberon looking at the half, has a finesse. Stinks the hands of Van der Sar. Trying to be as unpredictable as ever as he has been throughout this FIFAe World Cup. Just back to that point, Richard, sorry, on that Nicolas conversation. I think for him it was all about just getting a trophy, getting his hands on some silverware this time round.
Yeah, because for as good as he's been, an actual trophy in his hands, silverware in his hands. Yes, he's held a check before. Yes, he's held
an
online, online tournaments.
Elite club.
But getting a piece, getting some metal to lift above his head. First time he's done it in 5 years. It'd be a fantastic season, wouldn't it? E-Champions League, E-World Cup.
So far, no one, in terms of knockout play, has really been able to stop him. That's half-time in this first leg between the two. 0-0 so far. We'll try and have a little look at the half-time stats between them. And there wasn't too much to talk about other than probably Oberon having a few more shots, some of them off target.
You can see the setup there as well. Incredible. 2 players on a pedestal. You've got the coaching teams behind them as well, who, especially in that Exceed Esports camp, have been pivotal to his performances. Possession slightly in favour of Nicolas at the halfway point, 60%. XG, nothing to report as of yet, as conversations in the Exceed Esports booth. Very active, with 3 halves of FIFA left to play. For the first time you're watching, welcome. 2 legs of FIFA is what we will play. Aggregate scoreline to be determined, whoever the victor may be. If not, extra time and maybe even the dreaded penalty shootout.
There is a small group of them in there, of Italian fans, that will be pushing on there, man. It means so much for all the players, even the likes of Danny Pitbull that crashed out the tournament early on. I saw him just sparring with him earlier. Oberon, they want a trophy, Rich. They want a World Cup. Let's go back to Italy.
Just legitimises the entire scene. You look at the impact when you look back in the FIFA annals. Gorilla, when he won the World Cup in 2017, and all the players who came to follow. Enes Tassari the year after, all the Saudi talent, even Mr. Dunn back in 2016. It inspires people. 2015, should I say. Mo Basha, 2016.
Oberon looking to get off the mark in this semi-final here at the FIFAe World Cup. David Ginola will interchange well. This is now a small triangle from the Italian. Fantastic little cancel. He very nearly opened up the space he needed just to let rip there with David Ginola.
And it's the first time we've sort of seen Oberon come forward with that attacking intent inside the box. Trying to create, trying to open up. Just a little pocket of space. The reverse elastic was cute. Couldn't quite fire away cleanly with Ginola. Promising signs though.
Cannot say, though, how crucial it is against the player of Nicholas to go up by a goal. Can't be on the opposite side, otherwise it will be quite the game to chase.
He's utilised that switcher play a couple of times now, Oberon, certainly in his locker, and once the ball's being pinged from left to right, just gives you a couple of seconds to reset and maybe try and look for an opening.
Kimpembe scored one of the best goals of all yesterday, 30-yard finesse from distance. Nicely done, CR7! Deflected off the boot of the Brazilian defender of PSG, and it was, in the end, easy pickings for Van der Sar, but he is building.
He's looking the more likely, as it currently stands, Oberon to open up the scoring here. Coming forward in waves, creating his attacks. You saw the player lock fake as well when it went out wide. Just starting to diversify his attacking threat at the moment is the Italian. Nicholas, always dangerous.
Nicely done! Nicholas! From 30 yards out. Says, yes, please, I'll time that green. Alphonso Davies will put him up to the lead. He hasn't really done too much, for being completely honest, so far in this first leg, but he doesn't need many chances. That's his first shot of goal.
Don't know if I could have utilised the word dangerous any better. Alphonso Davies, 25 yards out, time green, top bins from the Canadian shapeshifter. Unlikely scorer.
And if you're Oberon, you're sitting there thinking, I've made, what, 2-3 good chances and just conceded that.
What a finish from Davies, as changes potentially been made here for Oberon. As soon as that went in, he turned around and had a, again, chat with his team. You can see the formations and player tactics instructions on your screen right there.
It might have been his first real chance of the game, but that's what he does. Timed it green into the top corner, up by a goal to nil now in our first leg here. If you have just joined us, this is the FIFAe World Cup 2022 live from Copenhagen. Today there will be a new FIFA World Champion crowned here. And one of these two will be heading into the grand final. At the moment, it will be Nicholas. There is still a long time to go, though. 24 minutes plus second leg to follow.
It's a big, big goal, though. You could potentially say against the runner play in the second half, Oberon has been the more likely to break the deadlock, but you can only take one chance, Nicholas, and he will lap it up.
Against a player like Lickner, Richie, you do not want to go down 1-0. So keep the ball, it'll frustrate you. Set the game to a speed that he wants to play at. An instant reply here from Oberon will be everything. There's CR7, maybe the man to do that. He's been so good in that area, Nicholas, of just timing the tackles well. 2-3 of them he's had in this first leg.
Yeah, sort of giving a little bit of space and then just clamping him so quickly. Almost fakes there's an opportunity to dribble there, and then as soon as the touch comes out,
could be in for two. Reverse Elastico, Mbappe, little scoop turn. Oh, it was a horrible deflection. Goes for a corner. You know, one thing about Nicholas this year, he's a set-piece specialist. What's coming this time? To the edge of the box, fakes the player, lock does. Still have possession, though. Instead, we'll probably look to recycle this one and edge closer and closer towards the end of leg one. Davies, dangerous from this area. Ooh. That time, the idea was there. That might be very questionable. Aviginola threw himself up there. Van der Sar couldn't quite get there on the first time. Luckily enough, on the second time, he had enough time just to get 2 hands on that one and bring it down to safety.
Red time shot turn cross for a second there. I mean, if that happened to go in, one very unhappy Italian here in the Bella Arena.
Onside is Ronaldo. Yes, 1-2, interchange, reverse Elastico. Again, Nicholas flawless at the back. Every tackle's met.
just the precision and the preciseness of that defending.
So risky as well, though, Rich. If he comes in a bit too keen,
he'll just skip past you.
Alternatively, he might give away a penalty. Final 5 minutes. The first leg, Davies faked a shot from that far out. He certainly could hit them from that far out. There's David Ginola looking to build. Ginola still will try his best to cricket his way into the box.
He's looking dangerous when he's coming forward at the moment here, Nicholas. You see the confidence starting to build with him. The cancels, the intricate details that he's pulling out inside the box. He just went to pop off the Lacriqueta pass inside there as well when Ginola did pick it up.
Added time to follow, probably for more than a minute. And that will do us for the halfway point in leg 1 of this semi-final. Or is there late drama?
No.
Just sort of running out of ideas, isn't he, Obram? End of leg 1, Nicholas leads by a goal to 0, but there's still a part 2 to come in this matchup. But, I mean, Obram there, he's created a load of chances there, Rich. He'll come off the back of that thinking, could I have done anything more?
Potentially so, potentially so. But I think the way that he's playing Obram, there's opportunities there. Nicholas is defending incredibly well. To hold out a 1-0 lead is very, very tough. We saw it yesterday with Matías Bonanno against Umit. It was 1-0 for a very long time, and then as soon as that goal went in, 2-3 quickly followed. It's going to be the conversation of, can Obram break down Nicholas? Also, Nicholas, when he is coming forward, is looking dangerous to potentially get a second.
Let's head over to the guys in the studio to get their thoughts at the halfway point in leg 1. Rachel, Mike, Spencer, what did you make of that first leg?
Yeah, thanks, boys. Well, Spence, I'll come to you first to get your thoughts. It's very much the experience of the Iceman, Nicholas, leading the way at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, in a tight game that can still have a few twists and turns, make no mistake, but that's 2 games in a row. Alphonso Davies has scored a screamer for Nicholas, and important goals as well. I mean, there could still be more in this one, but the last one was a winner in extra time, of course. So, yeah, I mean, really impressive from Nicholas, because Oberon is not easy to play against.
No, we've seen that, haven't we, over the past couple of days already. Let's have a look at the goal then, that vital goal so far in the first leg. Mike LaBelle, still a lot of time, though, for Oberon to make a comeback. We saw that happen time and time again over the past couple of days.
And it's a relatively simple resurface or recycle, but it is extraordinary when you're looking at Alphonso Davies stepping into that. It's an unusual goal, too. A lot of people aren't aiming for across-the-body shots. Times the green, top corner. And I would actually say with Oberon in particular that he was more likely before that happened as well. He had a couple half chances in the box, maybe one skill move this way or that way, and it would change the result.
I mean, we can see, you can't quite see at the moment, but is it very much 2 different contrasting pods at the moment? Oberon, he was just kind of chatting to his team, asking possibly for a little bit of advice, whereas Nicholas, okay, now it's changed, but was very much just sitting there, almost like he knew his game plan, and he's almost telling his team, Spencer, what he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's about muscle memory for Nicholas, isn't it? He's been here so many times before. In these situations, deep into tournaments, obviously E-Champions League winner. We've seen him go so close to winning a FIFAe World Cup before as well. And, you know, we talked to him the other day about how much it means to him. And this is really the one that got away. And there's been talk about, if he was to win this, that he'd potentially be considered the best FIFA player of all time. And surely that's got to be his motivation going into it.
Yeah, totally. And, Mike, at the E-Champions League final, he was put under so much pressure as well. Not only was in the final with his fellow Argentine in the form of Matías Bonanno, but had to go to a bracket reset and do it the hard way. So he knows how to deal with those high-pressure situations.
And you have to credit Nicholas as well, because if you were there, if you've seen E-Champions League in that final, he was outplayed for 3 of the 4 legs. And he was able to kind of put it together late. It was great. And he got the job done, as you would expect from a player of his caliber.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's done it once before. He's already lifted a trophy this season, that E-Champions League, of course, a couple of months ago. Well, they look like they're ready and set. Putting their headphones back on is Oberon. Nicholas is already locked in for this second leg of our first semi-final at the FIFAe World Cup. Time to go back then to Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley to call the second leg.
Well, he's halfway there from his first ever FIFAe World Cup grand final is Nicholas. But he's got 90 minutes of Italian pressure to deal with if he wishes to get there. And I tell you, Rich, there will be a lot of Italian pressure coming from, because he was creating in that first leg, was Obram.
No, he certainly was, echoing the words of Mike LaBelle. I think we said it on the desk as well. He had 2 pretty decent opportunities where he was building into the final third, couldn't quite penetrate, into a goal-scoring opportunity and a shot on target, but he looked likely.
Marcelo, cheeky chip, could be in for two. It's always difficult when you're fighting Ronaldo in the air. That time Sergio Ramos gets his number. Well, for Nicholas to build into that first, look what he did. Of course, a goal followed.
Ooh.
Which was a ridiculous effort from
R9.
Alonso Davies. Could be through on the left-hand side here. Now Nazario. He wears number 11, believe it or not, of all shirt numbers. Normally wears the number 9.
R11.
Cristiano Ronaldo instead takes number 9. Which, don't get me wrong, that shapeshifter in-game item probably deserves the number 9 shirt of how good that is. It has been across these last few days at the FIFAe World Cup. Watch out for a cheeky chip here, potentially, from R9. It's Mbappe that teased to run through. Marcelo could be through. It could be two for Nicholas. Cut back. Mbappe. Is there one more pass? Build it. Off the shoulder. Mbappe off the knee of Marquinhos. He knew nothing about it, but he could go down as a hero. It comes to be just a goal between the two. That one into the tie. Corner played short towards the front post. Great save, Van der Sar. Keep an eye on these corners from Nicholas.
You see the bottom left corner there, he's using the set-piece tactics.
Again, front post flick on. That's three different sort of ways that we see Nicholas, though, Richard, build into the box from a corner there. Across these two legs so far. Like he's probably got, what, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, absolutely. The set-pieces that we've seen with the player lock on the edge of the box, a couple of variations of that, and then we've just seen another corner where he was sort of stacking the near post looking for a header.
An action-packed first 15 minutes from Nicholas. It wasn't for a great bit of defending and a brilliant save from Van der Sar. Oberon might have found himself with quite the task. And there's only two people that beat Nicholas in the FIFAe World Cup. It came in the group stage, as it was Olilito. Leandro Peixoto, the Frenchman. Other than that, Nicholas was able to hold his own with pretty much everyone else in the competitions. Here's R9. Kimpembe, R9 again, Oberon drops the shoulder. It's electric from the Italian. As he just says, calm down, there's a long way still to play in this one. But for him, he's back in the tie.
Just showed us something different inside the box, the Elastico.
Wow.
I think he put it through the legs of the defender.
You can do that 100 times, only so many times that's getting through the legs.
We didn't really see that creativity, though, in the first leg. Maybe towards just before the goal went in, the Nicholas scored. He wasn't really showing us it, maybe trying to overcomplicate it then. Just said, you know what, I'm just going to have a go, I'm going to try something. And that creativity turned into gold for Oberon. 1-1.
That's what he needed, away back in the tie. Because Nicholas was knocking for two.
Nicholas looked good as well. The first 20 minutes of his second leg, it looked like he was keeping the ball rolling from where he finished, but almost out of nothing, Oberon has completely turned the tide of this game. He's coming forward again.
Well, no doubt. The timing of that Elastico through the legs of R9 has backed up the confidence that he showcased throughout this tournament so far.
Mistake there.
A bit too obvious there to João Cancelo. Now Nicholas could be through with 4 players on the charge. CR7 still does well. Look at that dribbling. The technique from Marcelo now also not as good. Doesn't take him long though to get back on the ball, does it, for Nicholas, that press? And timing of the tackle relentless again. Remember, you win this game, $100,000 guaranteed in the spot. in the FIFAe World Cup final. Marcelo, cheeky chip. CR7's got the leap, as we know.
Looked like he were up for that. And it looked like he was making the trademark jump header. Just managed to get a body in the way, though.
He's done well, Ramos. That's a few times he stopped Ronaldo in his tracks.
Pressing really well at the minute. Nicholas Oberon struggling to get out, struggling to even put 3-4 passes together. This game is towing and throwing back and forth. Looked like Oberon might have gone in for two. Nicholas then back in sort of the power position now.
What a ball that could be. Militao will have a chance to play it across. Poor pass from the defender. You really are watching two players that are at the top of their game, showcasing their craft. It is a game of nothing really in terms of the margins.
The last chance will fall to Oberon just before half-time.
This could be a chance. David Ginola. Corner. Last chance will fall to Oberon. Corner play quickly. It's towards the front post. Militao will deal with that. No added time, actually, in fact. Marcelo. Referee plays it on. Here's Hullet. Still could be a chance. Get that ball into the box. He'll say Marcelo still does well. Down the line. What a save, Van der Sar. Another corner to play him. Still in this 0 additional time to play. Van der Sar got two hands on that. Still not fully dealt with. Referee pulls it up eventually. Half-time in leg 2. 1-1 all to play for still.
What a game we are witnessing right here. I think Oberon will probably go into half-time feeling a little bit more confident just off the back of the last 5 minutes of that first half. He got the equaliser, withstood a little bit of pressure from Nicholas, and then found his way back in to offensive positions.
That goal, Rich, how key was it that he got it as early as he did? Because Nicholas, let's be honest, pretty much dominated most of that half.
Yeah, so important that he managed to get the goal and then also ended the half on top. Mentally, that's a big, big bonus for you. You just saw the coaching tool being used to effect there in the booth of Oberon as well.
And the goal as well, Richard, very briefly. How classy was it? The timing of it was everything.
Yeah, it really was. Managing to hit the elastico, score at the near post, but then just in the grand impact of this game, if Nicholas goes into half-time, 1-goal lead, you've got to think he's going to at least try and shut up shop, try and see this game out, and then maybe exploit when Oberon comes forward and looks for that sort of way back in, the Hail Mary or whatever it may be. That's when it gets a bit tight and a bit cagey all of a sudden.
We've always said it, haven't we? He's a player you never want to go down by a 1-0 because he will literally control the game at his pace, make it difficult to play against, he'll dictate it. 45 minutes away from finding out who will be in the World Cup Grand Final. Or are we going to need extra time just to spice things up here in Copenhagen? I mean, I wouldn't say no to it.
Nicholas and semi-finals at the World Cup, it sort of goes hand in hand. 2019, what people regard as one of the best games of FIFA of all time, played on a competitive level, versus Mo Auba.
Yeah, and if you're a FIFA esports fan, you remember that one. Luka Modric, header, front post to equalise. What a game it was. Let's see what this next 45 minutes brings our way. Oberon looking to just kick things off. In terms of match stats and facts, might have had too many to talk about last 45 minutes or so, but he has got the goal that is all that matters. Has to get back to how he's playing in leg 1. He was creating so many good chances in leg 1. Can we see one now? Marcelo sees the player lock.
Could have gone anywhere. I think it bounced off Van der Sar, then back off Ronaldo there, but just even sort of doing that, showing the confidence that you not only you're happy to do it, but it now puts that little bit of doubt in Nicholas's mind where next time he gets in that position, is he going to fake the play look? Is he going to actually use it? Just put in little red dots in the mind.
There you see them. Friends, family, fellow competitors from Italy.
Great win.
As always. Normally. Hard to stop that time. Good switch of play there from Nicholas to get the ball back under control. And this is where he can be dangerous. João Cancelo will make his own go around on this left-hand side. There'll be extra numbers that will queue up. Just a slight breather. 61 minutes to play here into the pause menus. We shall go. Just opportunity for coaches to get some words on board.
Yeah, a couple of changes potentially going to be entering the pitch as well. And you look at the bench on show there. Gareth Bale, the 98 premium SBC foot item. David Ginola off the bench.
Compare the two teams, Rich. What is it? 3 players difference. Mbappe, Bellingham and Davies to... On the flip side, Kimpembe, Hullet and David Ginola. Other than that, you're looking at pretty much the same 8 players as, of course, you come to expect to see at this level of FIFA esports.
We've seen over the course of the World Cup, though, that substitutions can play a massive part in these games, whether it's sort of Sadio Mane, whether it's Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, Gareth Bale coming off the bench with just a different idea. When you look at Bale, he gives you a player a little bit in the same physicality as Ronaldo, who can go up at the back post, who can create something spectacular if it is required of him. Look at that goal that Kimpembe scored. Finesse shot, 25 yards out.
Even Alphonso Davies, Rich.
Everyone is capable.
A fullback by trade. These shapeshifter items have shaken things up here in Copenhagen. Even that man on the ball, Sergio Ramos. Final 25 here, this game on a knife's edge. Long ball into the box, it shall go! Kimpembe! You mentioned him being deadly, being dangerous. He's made a run that no one saw. He might be in the body of a central midfielder, but in game, he's still a centre-back at heart.
Just ghosted in at the back post. Did Presnel Kimpembe, a name on the lips here at the FIFAe World Cup. He triggered the run, just burst through, the cross in. It was on the money.
This man has remained so calm as well. Everyone just again turns around and says, calm down, one step at a time.
He knows who he's up against as well. He knows that Nicholas will never say never, that he will always fight to the last kick of the game, but he finds himself in a glorious position, does the Italian of Exceed Esports.
And he found himself in this position, Richard, a couple of years ago. Down by a goal, not long left in the game.
I think two goals in sort of 5 minutes that he scored. It's going to have to be a similar story if he wants to progress to his first ever FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. On the other side of it, Oberon's got 24 minutes to hold out.
75k bonus, pretty much. 24 minutes. These will be a long 24 minutes, but there's one thing you don't want to come up against, Rich, and that's 24 minutes of Nicholas pressure that's going to be coming at you.
Well, you know what? We know the story right now. It's already been pre-written. What is going to happen? Nicholas pressing, Nicholas attacking, Oberon defending, maybe looking to counter if the space opens up. What he's going to give?
And he's been spoken about and regarded as one of the best players for so many years. Player doesn't always show too much emotion. He was called the Iceman for a reason. But this time we need to see ice from Nicholas. In these last 20 minutes, he wishes to take this game into extra time and keep himself in the hunt for his first ever FIFAe World Cup title. João Cancelo now for Nicholas down the byline, wins a corner. This is where he is dangerous often. Ronaldo over it, which is just to take it very quickly. Bellingham, CR7's there in the air. That's what he'll do. Clever from Nicholas, but a great save from Van der Sar.
Trying it again.
Looks for the tee down. There it is. That's what the Iceman does on the biggest of stages.
He's mastered that corner. You saw the slight little tease the first time around. Switched to Jude Bellingham. Fired on the player lock to the edge of the box.
Fist bump, fist bump. Here we go. Back to square one again.
And what a corner tactic. We saw it in use throughout the entirety of the Champions League. It clutched up for him in the big games. And once again, mastering the mechanics is Nicholas 99 FC. What a game.
And to be honest, out of all the corner routines we've seen from Richard, we haven't seen that one from him until this position now. He's given us, what, 4 or 5 different variations. Maybe like a secret weapon up his sleeve, which he has been doing at the Champions League so many times. But look, it took him, what, 6 minutes to get 2 corners, and now he's back in the game at 2-2.
Back into the tactics, back into the instructions. Almost back to basics in terms of the custom tactics as well, what we started with. We're not going to see an aggressor or a defensive player. It's going to be who can time their chance at glory. There might be one more chance each before we potentially end up in extra time.
Final 15 minutes in the biggest game of your career. Obram, what have you got this time? Reverse elastico, it was silky. The save from Van der Sar was class.
Green timed, really nice from Obram coming forward. And Nicholas looks to answer, but gives the possession away in the middle of the park, and it allows Obram to create another opportunity.
Yeah, Ronaldo, you want him sort of more in the box. He's out on this right-hand side. Look at the numbers. Look at the cued run there from Kimpembe. This time he's not used. Lionel Messi might be. Hullet! Scuffs his lines. He was onside.
It has to go in. I'm shocked he was onside. What a chance. What a miss.
Ruud Hullet. A golden opportunity there for Obram.
And mentally, how can you bounce back from that? You've just had a golden opportunity to go 3-2 up with 6 minutes left on the clock. Hullet sticks it wide. And now Nicholas is breathing down your neck.
As he looks for this match winner. Fair play, Obram. He's been able to defend these pretty well over the last 50 minutes since he conceded that goal.
He's playing for the last chance. We'll probably see about 3-4 minutes of possession around the back, and then one opportunity at glory for the Italian.
Well, there'll be a way to just showcase
if he does
how good
score,
you really are.
I tell you, he won't be calm. He won't be telling people to calm down. He'll be absolutely losing his head if he goes on to score a winner before extra time.
Wait for the added time to click, and here we go.
Oh, he's won it back.
Well, Nicholas might have just pinched the ball off him with 2 minutes left to play. Late drama, he's been involved before in 2019 in London at this exact moment. Will we see it again? From Nicholas, in it goes towards the back post. CR7 will raise the roof here in Copenhagen. Zero reaction from Nicholas 99, who may have just snatched a spot in the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. Is this his year? Is this Argentina's year?
What a man, what a player. He snatched it back on the 90th minute. It was a little bit too pedestrian from Obram, trying to knock it around, playing for the final chance. Nicholas managed to get in front of his man, steal the possession over, and then just float it up and say, go and win me the game. Go and win me 100k, guaranteed.
Nicholas is one step away from a FIFAe World Cup championship. Argentina have never been there, but now they're so close, they can near enough smell the trophy.
What a game, as you hear the Nico chant echo around the Bella Arena.
You sit back off that result if you're Obram, you think, one bad pass, one little manoeuvre, that is the smallest of intricacies you look at, Richard, which separates you from extra time, maybe penalties, and a chance of getting $100,000 to be in the grand final. Nicholas proves once again how calm he is. Still no real reaction from him.
That's why we call him the Iceman. He's coined the phrase, and he lives up to it at every single opportunity. What a player. World Cup Grand Final is waiting for him.
Well, let's hear from him now. He's joined by Spencer Owen, and he's in a grand final in his first ever FIFAe World Cup.
Yes, thank you, guys. I am here with a FIFAe World Cup finalist, Nicholas. How are you feeling?
Well, nice, I think. Like, I'm like my competitive mindset, you know, I can like be happy or start stuff. But yeah, it was a really tough match. Obrun plays really, really well at defense and the offensive side. But yeah, I did it like in the last minute, so that's it.
Not for the first time either. You found it a late goal. We were talking up there on the desk and I said, if he scores a late winner, he's not going to celebrate because you're just too cool for school sometimes. I wonder if you do go the distance, if you do win the World Cup final and there's no more FIFA to be played, whether we'll see you, erupt in celebrations. But we're going to have to wait to find out. A couple of questions for you though. Alphonso Davies, he keeps delivering for you. How much do you love this player?
Yeah. Many people from friends and that stuff say Davies out and that stuff. But Davies is doing like important goals for me. So yeah, I really believe on him.
Not just important goals, but goals that we don't necessarily see a lot at this level. Long distance, outside the box, green times, top corner. Is this something you've practiced a lot?
No, I just try. I just watch the situation and just shoot.
Okay, final question for you. Let's talk about this lucky stone here, your amethyst, because you didn't wear it on day number one, and you weren't looking too good on day number one. You're sitting at the bottom of your table. You put that on, and everything's changed. Is it all because of the stone?
I don't know. I just like it's for confidence. Maybe this give me confidence, luck, or whatever you want. But I feel more like confident with this stone.
Tell you, everyone's going to be buying amethysts in the next few weeks. Everyone wants to be a FIFA player. But Nicholas, we'll see you in the final. Congratulations. Unfortunately, we do have someone exiting the competition, and it is this man Obrun who was behind. Then you got back in the game, but it was a late goal. What are you thinking?
I made an error that in a semi-final of a World Cup couldn't be. So GG's to Nicolas. He's so strong. So I am happy for who I play. I was in game also when he goes 1-0. So I'm happy, but I made an error, so important.
I think you're taking it incredibly well, and I hope in time you really are proud of your achievements here, because you've been unbelievable. One of the best players for sure here, really hard to play against. And are you now feeling confident going ahead into next year that we'll see even more from you?
Yeah, I'm confident also for the nation. Now, in the nation, I show that I could be winner.
Yeah, the season isn't over for Obrun. Obviously, representing Italy, you could still come away with a World Cup. But I want to say well done to you, Obrun, and the whole team from XC. Sensational World Cup. Well done, Obrun, and we'll see you soon. Right, guys, we're going to go back to the studio. We have one finalist. Who's going to be the next one?
We are one step closer now, aren't we? Only 3 players remaining. They've got to fit in to 2 spots in that grand final. Nicholas is one of them. Who's it going to be out of Emre Yilmaz and Umit? That second semi-final is coming up in a short while, but we'll reset in the studio, let the players compose themselves before we invite them to the stage for their walkout. But welcome to the studio then, because we have a very special guest joining us now on the sofa. Tom Lees from Excel Esports is flown in as well, obviously to watch this and compete later on, Tom, but lovely to have you here. I mean, what a moment to join the World Cup at the semi-final stage.
Yeah, the first game I've watched and it's scenes like that. I mean, it's Nicholas. There's something about Nicholas in the World Cup where he just creates this late drama, and he's done it again there.
Yeah, and obviously you know Nicholas pretty well. He's now a Londoner. You're a Londoner. You obviously practice quite a lot together. What makes him so unique?
It's just his calmness and composure. We've seen it from the minute I come across him was FIFA 17 in the World Cup. He played against Shells. Shells came out of that game and said, "That's the best player I've ever played." I said, wow, that's a big praise to give to someone. Ever since, I've had my eye on him, always been playing against him. And yeah, it's just that calmness and composure he's got. Unbelievable.
And we always question kind of like, is Nicholas going to do it again? You see him battle through that. As someone who's obviously competed against him and had that direct exposure, shall we say, do you feel additional pressure? Because I feel in that matchup in particular, Obrun had some really big chances to go ahead, and he missed them. He dragged it wide or had an extra touch. And is that because he's going up against Nicholas, maybe the expectation and the moment and who you're going up against? You almost put him on a pedestal.
Yeah, I definitely think that when you play Nicholas, the later the game gets, the more tight the other player gets, because they know Nicholas seems to find comfort in that. The later the game is, the more he enjoys it. He's waiting for that 90th minute goal. I think if you're going to beat him, it needs to be early, and you need to get a couple of goals early doors, because once it goes to them tight last minutes, you know he's going to score. You know what he's going to do, and he does it every time.
He's just so confident as well. Like, his reactions was a hand up, fist bump, hand up, fist bump. Then we can see, obviously, his very new snake tattoo. He's obviously been clutching that necklace as well, Tom. It's a good luck charm, he told us a couple of days ago. He didn't wear it day one. We know what happened there. Yep. 2, 3, and 4. He's now wearing it. He's now into the grand final. But, Tom, just talk to us about how you feel Nicholas's past 3 days have gone.
It's been a roller coaster for him, hasn't it? I mean, day one didn't start great, and I remember it happened to him in FIFA 19 as well. He had a bit of a ropey period there, and then pulled through it, and obviously got to the semi-final or the final then. And then, yeah, ever since that day two, he's just picked up. But the thing is with Nicholas, he's a kind of player that doesn't need to play at 100%. I think if you ask him yesterday, he wasn't quite at his best. He sneaked them games, but that's the sign of a really great player, someone that can win when they're playing at 70, 80%. They don't always have to be their best, and that's what he's done throughout this tournament, and now we're probably seeing the best side of him.
Yeah, and Mike, he keeps pushing it to extra time as well. He did that in his previous matchup. Now in this matchup, and 3-2 has been the scoreline as well in extra time. There's a kind of running theme there, isn't there?
I think Nicholas lives in the late stages. I swear he doesn't come out until past the 70th minute. You don't want to see him extra time. You don't want to see him in penalty kicks. What Tom was saying with getting ahead early is really important. And with the next matchup coming up where we've got Umit, we have Yilmaz, what do you think we should be able to expect between those two competitors? Because I think it'll be a lot different than this, where it was a very cagey affair, but I'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I'm impressed by Umit because he can play two different ways. I've played Umit when he can play defensive and he can make it cagey and tight, and I've been on the bad end of that, but then I've also seen him, he can go and score 4 and 5 in one half. So it's actually really impressive from Umit. Also with Emre, he's scored a lot of goals as well. So yeah, I think we're going to see a complete different semi-final here. Also, on another note, I'd love to see Nicholas coach his notes. I'd love to see his notes on what he's trying to tell him, because it seems like he's like, just wait till the 80th minute and then just do your thing. Just keep it tight to the 80th and you'll find a way every single time.
I'll just have a quick word, though, Tom, as well, about Oberon. Obviously, yes, an excellent day so far, or excellent tournament so far, of course, from the young Italian who's had, I think, Mike, we're happy to say, a breakout year. And Mike was saying we really hope it can continue, but some of these stars break out and can't always reach those years going through. What have you made of, I guess, Oberon's season and how he's performed on the biggest stage over the past couple of days?
I think we've seen enough of him for me to say that he'll continue being at the top level. It's not just this World Cup, he's been good. I think he finished first in the rankings in European East, which is very, very difficult. So I think we've seen enough of him throughout the year that this isn't a fluke or this isn't just a one-off year. I think he'll be at the very top from now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, two fantastic players, but obviously only one has made it through to those finals at the moment. We're really excited about our next semi-final. But for this time being, we have some great prizes as well to give away to you guys. We've been speaking about a couple of great prizes throughout the 3 days so far. This, though, is something unique. Right, get your phones out, guys. I know you're all on your phones 24/7. Scan that QR code just there and you can win something very special from Adidas. It's a new pair of boots. We haven't even seen them. Nobody on the planet has seen them yet. So if you want to be in with a chance, you know what to do. Scan to enter. That's what it's saying on the screen right now. Well, that's the first of our couple of prizes. I'm going to talk now about our really big prize, which is coming next. We've mentioned it already yesterday. Guys at home, well, we'll talk about this one first. EPOS, then. You can get yourself a pair of EPOS headset. Redeem 1,000 channel points over the course of, obviously, today. And we've got 4 more days of competition next week as well, and 4 more after that for Club World Cup and E-Nations. 1,000 channel points is what you're after. And this is the big one. I teased it. Mike Lavelle is raising his eyebrows. I'm not sure if Tom Lees knows what I'm about to say here. This is for your chance for you and a friend to go to the FIFA World Cup later on this year in December, courtesy of Qatar Airways. They're going to fly you and a friend to the World Cup, and you'll have 4 nights, 5-star accommodation, and you'll watch 2 World Cup games. I know you're all asking, how do you get involved? 5,000 channel points is what you're after. So watch along here on FIFA E on Twitch for your chance to win that awesome prize to end out a fabulous 2022. Righty, let's get back to then FIFA here in the studio. Enough of the World Cup, which is later on. This is about the FIFA E World Cup right now. We are close to crowning our champion. Let's just have a look back at those 5 goals which were scored in that first semi-final. Obviously, it was a 3-2 in the end, that scoreline. We've obviously seen the first one be scored by Nicholas. This is the second leg. Only 1 goal was in the first leg. Mike, Tom, what did you make of the comeback from Oberon?
Yeah, I've seen Oberon. It's what the pros call the sauce in the box. He's got that bit going on, you know, the skill moves. Obviously, he scored a different kind of goal there, but when Oberon's in the box, he's very, very dangerous, and we definitely saw that with the first one.
And then it's nearly impossible on some of these corner kicks. I don't know how Tom feels, but when someone player locks correctly, the way they're moving, I just find it to be a bit of a crapshoot on the defensive end, where I'm really struggling, even if I move players in the right places. If I lose that initial header, I'm kind of in no man's zone. And then, unfortunately for Oberon here, big mistake. He had the opportunity to have the final attack. He had that lobbed ball, back post, let him climb that ladder. And who else? Cristiano Ronaldo, celebrate. Really the last kick of the game, takes the headphones off, wraps it up, moves on to the finals. And it's just the most Nicholas type of matchup. It is.
I mean, Nicholas just doing what Nicholas does best. Well, let's park that semi-final. We know Nicholas has gone through. Let's talk about Emre Yilmaz then and Umit. I mean, Tom, you just spoke a little bit about Umit. Emre Yilmaz has had a fabulous year. His first kind of proper season, especially on land, he kind of broke out, didn't he, last season? But Team Hullet have been a talent factory, we've been calling it, and he's one product of that.
Yeah, another one off the line at Team Hullet. They've got so many good players there. But I played against Emre quite a lot this year. He actually beat me in one of the cups earlier this year, and I was impressed by him because he controls the game really well, but he's also very, very good at defending. Makes it very hard to create chances. And what I've seen from him that I haven't seen from him previously, he's scored a lot of goals as well.
14 over the last 2 games.
Yeah, he's come out flying. He's obviously... This is the whole point, peaking at the World Cup, and I think that's what we're seeing with Emre right now.
And I feel like I might owe him an apology. Out of the four,
what did you say?
Yeah, well, out of the four of the Team Hullet collective, or we've been rebranding all sorts of different names, the factory, whatever we're producing there, I don't know what's happening. But we've got the likes of Olito, Bashor, Levy. I would have had all of them potentially going further. Whether it's a mix of the experience, the stability, what we've already seen on display. And here we are, Yilmaz deserved, and he's done it with a lot of flourishing goals, which I love to see that type of separation. And then, as Tom was saying, I was really impressed, especially versus Palaneto, at the later stages, he was able to see out the game. Because sometimes you see people score goals, but they don't have another gear to switch back into. Kind of like what you were saying with Umit as well, where you're seeing a very defensive game or something that has a lot more attacking. Having that balance is crucial for long-term success.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving the thoughts then from Tom and Mike Lebel here. But this is our second semi-final. Emre Yilmaz, Team Hullet from the Netherlands, taking on Umit, Red Bull Leipzig's Umit from Germany. Can he continue on this journey and keep the World Cup in his country? Obviously, Mo Alba is the current world champion. Spencer Owen is down on the floor to welcome our next two competitors.
Thank you, Rachel. What a treat of a first semi-final we got there. If we get another one like that, I think everyone will be very happy, both here in the studio and at home watching. So, for our second semi-final, we need some semi-finalists. Let's meet them. And here they come, our second semi-finalists from Team Hullet, the Dutchman Emre Yilmaz, and from Germany and RB Leipzig, we have Umit. Welcome to the stage, gentlemen. Crowd are going wild here. We need to do another coin toss to find out who's going to be home in the first and second leg. So I'd like to welcome referee James once again from FIFA, who has the task of doing this. So, James, just let us know who's red and who's blue. Blue and black, I should say.
Umut is black, Emre Yilmaz is blue.
Okay, Emre is blue, Umit is black. Let's go for the coin toss, please. Great technique on there, well done. We're going with the blue, which means who is playing in the second leg at home?
Emre Yilmaz will play the second leg at home.
Okay, so that means you will be home in the first leg. Umit, make your way to your stations, please, gentlemen. And our second semi-final is about to start. I hope you guys are looking forward to this one. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to hand you back to Richard and Brandon, who've got the call of this game.
Cheers, Ben. And who will be joining Nicholas in the grand final here of the FIFAe World Cup? We can only hope that that last semi-final is just as good as this one, Richard.
Yeah, that's the question that everyone wants to find out. It's going to be a fantastic game. I think if you ask a lot of the punters, a lot of the fans behind you, probably swaying towards an Umit victory. But the FIFAe World Cup. Anything can happen. Emre Yilmaz has the game to be able to take this.
And what a story Emre Yilmaz has got, by the way. 17 years of age, first year competing, first FIFAe World Cup. A year and a half ago, apparently he's playing career mode. Now he's on one of the biggest stages in Copenhagen. Fair play to all involved at Team Hulla that have pushed him along on this journey. And again, created another incredible player, so it seems.
Yeah, and also I think Emre Yilmaz probably going to have, well, I know Red Bull Lights, we've got a lot of people here, a lot of German FIFA pros are going to be backing Umut, but there's a lot of Dutch FIFA fans in this audience right now. There's a lot of Team Hullit representation as well who came to this tournament. I mean, if you're looking at the affiliated teams, there's about 5 players worth of friends and family all going to be backing that man on your screen right there. This is going to be a fantastic semi-final. We know who's waiting in the wings. Nicholas needs a dance partner. Who is it going to be?
He's just remained so calm throughout this process. I mean, both players have them. Yesterday, I spoke to him before we came into today's semi-final. Said, how did you remain so calm in that 89th minute matchup when he had to play against Matthias Banana? He went, look, I was playing against Matthias Banana and anything was still there and could have happened. And even when he was winning the games, he still remained so calm. He is a player that, in his short time of playing FIFA at 18 years of age, he's been a back-to-back grand finalist in the virtual Bundesliga. Won it one time. On the second time this year, came so close, losing to the hands of Dylan Mike. On top of that, represents both club and country at the top level in FIFA esports. It's been his first ever FIFAe World Cup also, and what a World Cup it's been. They want to be a back-to-back world champion, Germany, and maybe that could be the man to do so.
And also we have to talk about, you talked about having a great World Cup. He has been the most consistent player over the course of the 3 days. He was fantastic in the groups. Going into the knockouts, it wasn't as easy as you would like, but with an average expected goals of 2.3 in this tournament, you look at his passing accuracy, 90% over all of the legs of FIFA, including the 2 knockout games as well. He has been consistent. That is the word to describe Umut's performances. On the other side of it, Emre Yilmaz has been dynamic. He's been majestic in some of his attacking approach. What will come out on top? Consistency or potentially youthful exuberance?
Well, here we go. Semi-final number 2 underway in Copenhagen. For the FIFAe World Cup, you win this game, you can quadruple your prize earnings. As we said, $100,000 on the way. But for Emre Yilmaz, it's technically his first ever offline tournament was the playoffs, which is incredible. He got there for a top 4 finish in one of the last FGS online qualifiers. He came in, I think, as he might be ranked 17th in terms of his position in Europe, in terms of
way outside.
Yeah, way outside. It came through a late performance. Remember one of his games to the playoffs? He was 4-0 down against Berkey Lion. Came back. Oh, sorry, it was 4-0 down. No, maybe 4-0 down. Came back in that game. Won on the penalty shootout. Some of the results he's had, some of the performances he's had, Rich, on the build-up to get into this World Cup has been ridiculous. He's been a surprise package here in Denmark. Can he surprise us one more time by getting into a grand final? We'll have to wait and see. He'll have a very tough opponent standing in his way in a bit, who I can assure you will be very well supported. I've seen how supported he's been in social media from the German scene also. Might not be Namo Alba in the building, but he'll be watching from home. The current defending champion. As he looks to build early doors here, does Umut R9, looking to get him off the mark. Umut drops the shoulder! Just like that, easy as you like. It's only taken the German under 10 minutes to get off the mark here.
What a start for Umut. He's looking at an E-World Cup Grand Final in his not-so-distant future if he continues playing at this level. It's going to become a reality very, very quickly. Ronaldo Nazario, prime moments R9. Opening the scoring after 5 minutes.
What a start. What a start for Umut. Such a passionate player as well. Might not show much emotion, but I caught him backstage at the Champions League when he got knocked out in the final 8. Tears.
Yeah, absolutely distraught after the Champions League. And maybe that's in the back of his mind a little bit. I don't want to experience those feelings again.
I think those were the words he put on social media a few months ago. Got to look at it though, Richard. 18 years of age. What he's achieved in that time is phenomenal. Of course, his claim to fame was back at Atlanta in the FIFAe Champions Cup.
Ooh.
Emre Yilmaz, this is a golden chance. Feed the ball through. Oh, no, I was crying for it.
The through ball was there. It looked to everybody that after that bad touch from Chiellini, an opening was apparent. Decided to try and recycle, go for a slower approach. And against Umut, who is so clean when you look at his game. Defensively, amazing. Offensively, he can create any sort of intricate move inside the box. He's got the crosses that can provide an outlet as well. Across all of the 3/3 of the pitch, he's a 9.5 out of 10. So consistent in his gameplay. You have to take those opportunities. If a mistake does arise from him,
he has to be punished. Emre Yilmaz to build up again here. With Fuller, that would be a story if Fuller was to get a goal. In an interview yesterday with Spencer, he said that FIFA's all about the mental game. If you look at the 4 finalists we've had today, Richard, how calm they've all been has actually been a characteristic that every player has shown.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been the patience and the calmness of their play. All 4 of them have possessed, but Nicholas just edged it, didn't he? And I think experience does play a big factor in these matchups.
And honestly, you look at Emre Yilmaz, I'm sure coming into this tournament, I'd love to have seen the odds of him going the full way. There wasn't really too much to talk about off the back of that. He got a top 4 finish in an FGS online tournament, came to the playoffs, did his job, qualified, got to the World Cup. And from there, he's just found a way to win.
He struggled in this opening 25 minutes, though. He's gave the ball away a couple of times, and the only thing you can really put that down to is the nerves and the pressure of the situation in front of him.
Marcelo might fancy that one. What a ball into R9 for 2! No one saw that pass. Some of the Nuggets just carved it perfectly from Marcelo, somehow through to the feet of R9, who was just onside with the offside trap.
I spoke to in quite good depth yesterday when we were watching Umut's game against Matias Bernardo. The driven pass is a part of his game where he just fires it into the feet of the attacker. Defensively, you can't really do too much about it. It's past you in a flash, and then it's all about Umut. Does he have the composure? Does he have the calmness inside the box to stick it away? Of course he does.
He would have been dreaming of a start like this to reach to this semi-final. Last night, 2-0 up with 30 minutes on the clock in leg 1. Key is not to get carried away. Messi from distance, it was a right foot that his weaker foot, but still would have been on target at least. Wins a corner for his efforts, Emre Yilmaz.
Looking for the knockdown.
Might find it, will find it. Hullet was there waiting, Kimpembe was in the way.
If Umut was to be successful here, obviously a lot of time left to play. It would be the 2 players from Group C going through into the grand final, both Nicholas and Umut. Once again, showing the depth and strength in that particular group that a lot of people, including ourselves, labelled the group of death.
Group C, wasn't it? That also was spoken about quite a lot. Coming into this tournament as a group that many was sort of fearful of. Cannot forget some of the names that also fell out of that group. All over the top. Is he onside? No, he's not this time, Messi.
As we approach half-time here, Emre Yilmaz wants to give himself a little bit of confidence going into this second half. They're on the back foot to Red Bull Leipzig's Umut. You just see knocking the ball around the back, keeping a little bit of possession. as we approach the halfway point in leg number 1.
Half-time is near enough upon us. As it stands, there is half-time in this game. Just looking back through the archives in that Group C. Can't forget, he said likes of Nicholas was in there, Tuga. And it could be an all Group C grand final, depending on how this result was going at the moment. But not the start he would have wanted at all. Maybe you could have argued the nerves played a factor in it, but regardless of it, what a start from Umit. A goal in the first 7 minutes and then a pass that no one saw, just carved out from Marcelo. Found our 9, just who kept his run.
And once again, the importance of an early start, the importance of an early goal cannot be understated. So we get on board here with the second half. Emre Yilmaz getting us underway.
It's for a chip off the mark. That's going to be easily dealt with. Keith Gierich, he just cannot let it go 3-0.
No.
Otherwise, you really are throwing the kitchen sink at it.
If it goes 3-0, it's a dangerous scoreline. 2-0 is doable. Again, that driven pass coming into such good use for Umit inside the final third.
It might be 3. Just about gets it clear. That might be João Cancelo that came across. He's just getting so much time, R9.
It's because he's firing the ball into his feet. He's going to come forward again here with Kimpembe.
This time Spinazzola. Wins a corner for his efforts, Umit. On the hunt for 3. In he goes, headed down. It was an acrobatic effort. I think Chiellini, of all people.
It's that corner, it's so hard to defend. The goalkeeper isn't got enough speed, really, to get out to the edge of the box to try and claim it. And then also, with the knockdown on the player lock, there's some players that just seem so hard to defend. Whether it's Ronaldo or Ruud Gullit.
Good win from Chiellini, recycle well from Emre Yilmaz. Messi again on that right boot, he's not afraid to use it. But it's nothing clean at the moment in terms of clear-cut chances.
But he's coming more and more into his own. The team Gullit man. Starting to probe. Looks slightly more dangerous.
What a ball. Intercepted well.
I think he's settled at the minute. That first sort of 25, 30 minutes. He was...
You just don't plan for it, do you? To be 2-0 down in 30 minutes, Rich. It's like...
But that will happen if you're not switched on. Be an opportunity here for Umit. Uses the wide player so well, but then also mixes in that driven pass.
Clever again.
Just fires it into the feet.
Nicely done, finds Marcelo. Now it's about getting options in the box. Messi there in the front three. You are lacking at least one option in the air. Bellingham back to it, back to goal. This is nice. Messi on 9. Emre Yilmaz. Just showing us a bit of that quality of what he showcased across the last 3 days, building into today's final.
Real slick play inside the box. It looked like he could have shot the first time. He offloaded it back into R9 Ronaldo, who found the bottom left corner. Nothing Schmeichel could do about it. He did get a hand on it, actually, did the Dane, but unfortunately couldn't keep it out. Emre Yilmaz, we talked about his confidence building. We talked about him building into the game. That's a great foothold if he wants to try and reclaim this lead from Umit.
Just even going to the second leg just behind a goal, Richard, is
so much. Just gives you so much confidence, but also one goal can be turned away in a flick of a fingers. Umit was 1-0 up before you'd even finished the drink of your coffee, Brandon. It's 3 minutes gone, he's 1-0 up and he's in a driver's seat.
With over 20 minutes left to play. Maybe Emre Yilmaz can make this 2-2. If you have just joined us, this is our second semi-final of the FIFAe World Cup. If you missed the late drama in our first one, it was Nicholas that booked a spot in his first ever Grand Final. He obviously stopped. He was stopped in his track, sorry, by a German back in 2019 against Mo Albert. Now the rest of the story there. He's this time in the final two, a top two finish, which, as we were speaking about for Nicholas, it's just got better and better, hasn't it, from him? Round of 16 back in FIFA 17, then it was top 8, top 4, now he's a top 2.
Yeah, I actually saw Mo Albert tweeting about Nicholas's performances, and I'm sure we'll rehash them when we do get to the Grand Final, but the consistency that he's shown over the last 5 years has been nothing short of fabulous.
It will try his best to build it into one of the final real chances of the game. CR7 bats a goal, does
Great
well.
feet.
Look at the fee, look at the fee. Oh, the finish let him down. Vinicius Junior. It was on a plate.
Such good dribbling inside the box there from Umut. Once again showing us the diversity of attacks that he's got in his deep locker.
Deflection there, doesn't come to anything in the end. Emre Yilmaz with that poor student, he might get it before the end of the game if he's lucky. Cheeky chip over the top, goalkeeper should deal with it. No, he won't.
A little bit hairy all of a sudden there as that ball went over the top. Mix up between defender and goalkeeper. Mbappe trying to sniff out a potential opportunity.
Umut went for the speed boost touch there. Didn't get round the man. Maybe one last chance.
I think he's just been a little bit in the key areas, just a little bit off it, Emre Yilmaz, especially in the passing department. If he can tighten up those screws going into the second leg, he can pose a real threat to Umut. So a couple of loose passes, a couple of loose possessions.
Alphonso Davies, one last chance down the byline. Goes for a corner. We have played the 1 minute of additional time. The pause will now come in for Emre Yilmaz that he queued about 15 in-game minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm not too sure he'll be making too many changes, as we have one corner left to play in this first leg. Then that will do us until the second leg of action does get underway. That's an outstanding position for Umut if he wants to extend his lead.
If there's one time to not switch off, it's now. Corner played in. Ronaldo's there in the air. Great save, Alisson. Point blank range, had to react, he did. Another day. That could be 3 goals to 1 to Umut at the halfway point in the 2 legs. The German is halfway away from being in the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. It leads by 2 goals to 1.
It'd be a perfect story for Umut, really, wasn't it? First 3 minutes, go 1-0 up, and then in the final couple of seconds of the match, you're looking to extend your lead to 3 goals to 1. Good comeback from Emre Yilmaz. Yes, it wasn't completed. It wasn't super successful, but he managed to get a goal back, almost stopped the bleeding. Because when Umut's 2-0 up in 30 minutes, there's the potential that that game could roll away from you, as it did with many of the players in the group standings that Umut took on. He got back into the game. He started to build his way into the game. Got the goal as well. Real slick play from Emre Yilmaz to score that 2-1 goal line. And then, look, he's moving forward. I think he'll be quite happy with how the first leg went. Yes, he's trailing by 1 goal, but he's in a decent position.
What a start from Umut, Rich. What an incredible start. 7 minutes in, scored the first goal. Then by the 30th minute mark, able to double his lead. He could have said left leg 1, 2-0 down. Would have been a very different storyline coming into this second leg for Emre Yilmaz, who, again, you know, would have never planned to be in this position of being 2-0 down this early on in a semi-final when there is so much money on the line.
Well, there's no game plan that says go 2-0 down inside 15 minutes. He had to react. He had to play reactionary FIFA. You go 1-0 down inside 4 minutes. Now what? The game plan's ripped up. Maybe first leg you wanted to keep possession for a little bit. See it out into the second leg, and then in the second leg push on. That had to be scrapped. You go to plan B. Okay, don't concede again. Okay, that's gone out the window. Go to plan C. Just try and get back into the game. Try and create something. He did that, and I think in that Team Hulk camp right now, he'll be relatively happy with how this is going. Going into that second leg, like I said, tighten up on the passing, tighten up on a few of the possessions, and potentially we might see an Emre Yilmaz comeback.
Yeah, well, let's be honest, we saw a fantastic performance from him in the group stages and the knockouts. He has been the surprise package where it's difficult, isn't it? You come into a tournament, look at the 32 players, and you're thinking, you've got your favourites, of course you do. But then you've got your surprise packages in there that obviously had a great playoffs and stopped the likes of, obviously he didn't personally, but stopped the likes of Emes Desari being here alongside a list of other big names that didn't make it to this year's FIFAe World Cup. But this is what the last 24 months have given us. Yes, we might have had an E-World Cup, but we've had an online era with loads of online tournaments, which has just allowed all these players to come through and breed.
Yeah, and the big thing was the transitional period. How could those online players cope on stages like this? How could they adapt going from online to LAN, to this environment where you've got lights, cameras, action? If you're not wearing a headset, you'll hear us echoing out over the Bella Arena. So there's a transitional period that you have to deal with, but both of these two are being absolutely outstanding in their approach in this tournament. Top 4 is a fantastic sort of look so far. One of these two is playing against Nicholas in about 40 minutes' time.
Yeah, how much do you think they must be feeling right now as well? There's so much on the line here. Top 2, I mean, in terms of value as a FIFA player, it's worth so much in terms of contract negotiation. $100,000 if you win as well. Wouldn't be a bad first season, would it? If you're Emre Yilmaz's first ever competitive year at an E-World Cup in itself, it's the landmark event. Everyone wants to be here, let alone in a Championship Sunday, let alone in the grand final.
Yeah, I'm just looking down here. I can see the two players in the booths. Headsets are on. They're looking locked and loaded, ready to go. And as the lights change, you can see the countdown clock just here behind me. 5 seconds to go. Second leg of action is right around the corner.
Yeah, who will be joining Nicholas in the grand final with the FIFAe World Cup grand final here in Copenhagen. $250,000 on the line. Let's get this second leg underway. At the moment, it will be Umit of RB Leipzig who leads by 2-1. But one thing we've learned this weekend, you never write off a Team Hulk player, especially one you don't know too much about so far coming into this tournament. Emre Yilmaz with it all to do, but only a goal behind Rich. How many times have we seen, I mean, even 2 or 3 goal scorelines flipped on the head?
Especially if you can score early as well, Brandon. That's the big thing. If you can get that goal early and really solidify yourself back in the game, you're looking to be putting the pressure well and truly on your opponent.
Corner for Emre Yilmaz early on, went for a player lock. Vladimir Letao and Ronaldo in that conversation. Finesse from distance. He's tried that once with R9. He's tried it again with Marcelo.
It shows the confidence that he's got. He's taking long shots. He's taking those green time shots as well from outside the box. If he's just watched Nicholas play, you'll know that they are successful with Alphonso Davies finding the top corner. It's a promising start from Emre Yilmaz in this second leg.
I think he knows more than anything, Rich, how important it is that he does get the opening goal. We'll have other ideas as CR7 comes forward, looks to try and put it on the plate for Ronaldo Nazario. It was close, but well read by Alisson. Another big win this time from Umit.
Could be in.
Arno might just be there as a decoy run. He will be. CR7 finds it for now. Militao. Strong tackle again.
And not only have you created a little bit, Emre Yilmaz, in this opening sort of 12, 13 minutes of exchanges back and forth, you're also defended. It'll be in his mind, I conceded after 5 minutes. That's gone now. Now you just take the game as it comes and look to turn your future around. Turn the fortune in your favour.
See, Messi features in both of these two teams, Rich. David Ginola, not utilised, so it seems. Don't get me wrong, we've seen, what, the same 8 or 9 players across, but that Messi shapeshifter does offer you a lot, doesn't he?
No, he certainly does, and I don't think you get any real benefit or negative to Messi over Ginola. It's all about how you want to play. If you do like sticking the ball in the box a little bit more, Ginola suits you. If you like it being close to feet, looking for finesse shots, Messi's your man. I don't think you really get any drop-off or positive for any of the players. That's outstanding feet from Marcelo out wide.
Good from Emre Yilmaz. Sucks 2 or 3 players out of the defensive third. And a Tau strong header away. Action-packed first 20 minutes in this first part of leg 2.
I think more interestingly, Emre Yilmaz, Mbappe getting the start. He's not started for a lot of players in this tournament, but he's going to be the man sort of occupying this right mid position.
Marcelo from it. Wicked deflection. That's a harsh deflection, Messi. Reverse elastico or 2, CR7. That's a good tackle, Ramos. He all got a little bit too much there for a split second. Handled it well, though, did Emre Yilmaz. Cannot imagine the pressure.
Great pass.
Both these two are feeling. So close to the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. So close to the biggest paycheck of your FIFA career.
And then again, so far. The next 60 minutes of gameplay will feel like an eternity.
What a turn from Ronaldo. He might be able to drive away from Militao. One more pass. Oh, 9. Down the throat of Alisson.
Nice snappy play from Umit. Offloading it, not once but twice on the extra pass. Wasn't timed green for Umit. This could be a ball over the top.
Chance. Can he find a cut back? Marcelo, where's he going to go? Maybe R9. It was too obvious. He could have argued, but no one else was really offering a passing angle.
Very, very similar story to the first game that we saw. So tight, so narrow the margins. When you got 4 of the best FIFA players on the planet.
You know what we'd probably like to think here, Rich, that I'm a third through this game now. Breaking it down into stages. I've done well. I've not conceded a goal nearly at half-time. And keep it like this and keep it tight. 45 minutes away from the final against Nicholas.
Great ball.
Could do it now. Ball over the top. I like the idea.
And you just see he's got quite a bit of space on it when he is going forward to slide those through balls and driven passes into the space. He's done it a couple of times already in this second leg. Could be a key to victory.
CR7, good feet. Messi, even better feet potentially. Marcelo offloads it. He's not going to be the man to take the shot. Neither is Jude Bellingham.
Don't really see Umit doing too much here before half-time. Don't want to waste an opportunity and give your opponent a chance to go into the halfway point with a lead. So just going to play it around the back, and potentially when it gets to the 45th minute, it goes out of play. We'll wait and see.
Does he fancy one more chance as added time comes in now? No, there won't be any added time. Half-time. Scoreline still remains the same. It is the German Umit that leads by 2-1 over Emre Yilmaz. But it was a game so far that has had a handful of chances for either two players to extend the scoreline or to bring it back all square.
Yeah, almost looked dangerous on the counter-attack, especially with those sort of, I think he had one with R9 where it was the pass, then the extra pass. Couldn't quite angle his shot into either side of the goal. Alisson going to claim it all day long. And then the other side, Emre Yilmaz is being close to getting an opportunity in and around the edge of the box. First, for 5-6 minutes, decent chance, couldn't quite convert a goal-scoring opportunity from the possession that he had, but he'll be more than happy.
He's got to think I'm still in the game, so in the game still.
Much better first half in the second leg than it was in the first.
So direct, wasn't it, from the word go? Yeah, as you said, he's looking for those finesses, whether that be Lionel Messi or
anyone, really.
I mean, anyone that's got the stats, to be honest, which pretty much everyone does have in the offensive.
See the podiums that the two players are occupying there. The countdown, 3, 2, 1, second leg of action right here, right now. 45 minutes away, potentially from Umit. And a Nicholas final, or will Emre Yilmaz pull something yet again out the bag?
The only thing I just look at here from an Umit perspective, Richard, is he's got that semi-final, final experience. Yes, not in an E-World Cup, but in many other domestic leagues and tournaments he has featured in his first 3 years competing.
He's got the championship mentality. He knows what it takes to get over the line. And he's also had the negative experiences, which he never wants to revisit.
He's had the pain of the Champions League early on this year. Marcelo.
Great tackle.
Did his best to make it as easy as he could for Ronaldo, but Militao on the first touch. And look how stretched his defence is now, but
shot nothing on.
Back compact very quickly.
Yeah, Emre didn't really have anything going forward for him, so he had to turn back. He had to recycle. That'd be a story, wouldn't it? Ruud Gullit scoring the equaliser. 4-team Gullit.
Well, I mean, if you cast your mind about what 2017 when Grilla was world champion, he was in the crowd, wasn't he? That was one of the goals the Grilla scored 12 him on his way. Moments on from that, created his own esports team, and
here they are.
Had 4 of them here at the FIFAe World Cup this year, so not bad going. Spinazzola, Messi, one more, CR7 of it! With a 2-goal cushion, which, to be honest, right now will be sending on his way to a grand final.
Re-established that 2-goal advantage has the German. Has not looked really sort of cut through in this second leg, but it only takes one opportunity, it only takes one chance. Shapeshifter Cristiano Ronaldo with the goal, and Umit can smell a grand final.
He was so dominant, wasn't he? He was a pace setter in terms of the group stages. 30 points he accumulated. He was a goal-scoring machine throughout that process too. That game yesterday against Matías Pinano in the quarter-finals was absolutely incredible from him. He was down for near enough 180 minutes. Was it 178 minutes it took him to score a goal? Then after that, came out off the traps, turned the game on his head, and
didn't look back.
Found himself in this situation now where he is so close to $100,000. And in his first ever FIFAe World Cup, he's in a grand final. I mean, the pause needs to come, and probably once again for Emre Yilmaz. CR7 could seal the deal. Messi looked for the one more into R9, still could be alive.
Still in the game though, he's Emre Yilmaz, even though he's trailing by 2 goals.
And he has been involved in ultimate comebacks before. So many of his playoff games went down to the wire, whether it's penalty shootouts or not. He was always able to keep his nerve in those moments.
Is it?
He could seal it now, though. Cristiano Ronaldo for Umit. Great save, Alisson. Still is alive. There it is. Marcelo did well to pick up the pieces. Emre might feel he was hard done by, but that is game, set, match, you'd like to say. Sorry, Lionel Messi will tap it into the back of the net. It's a 3-goal cushion. Umit is in the grand final of the FIFAe World Cup.
He's got to play that pass inside his own defensive third, gives the ball away. Umit capitalises, and with a 4-1 scoreline with about 20 minutes left to play, it's looking very, very bleak for Emre Yilmaz. Has to go for it. Formation change, tactical change. You know what's going to come.
That's a different scenario, though, Rich. If he was able just to defend that opportunity, then he would have gone into a pause potentially now. And I mean, 3 goals, Rich. We've seen comebacks in our time.
They should top it.
We've seen comebacks in the FIFAe World Cup as well.
68 minutes on the clock with Umit leading 4-1.
22 minutes.
What a performance from Umit as well. Really, really solid. In this second leg, he's not looked at his best, but he's still winning games. He's still getting over the line. And you know what they say that is, Brandon? The sign of a champion.
I think you have to look back to that electric start he had in leg 1. 2-0 up in 30 minutes certainly helped him on his way. Just soaking up all the pressure as Emre Yilmaz through him. He's had to go for the game. Marcelo through. What a play. Vinicius Junior can't put it away. He's actually lucky that he's got a 3-goal scoreline to back him up.
Couldn't quite capitalise on that ball over the top there, Emre Yilmaz. 16 minutes left to play.
It's not looking good.
Certainly not.
Extra minutes and seconds out the game for a moment.
It's a remarkable achievement from Emre.
I mean, look, if there's someone out there that's watching this and thinking, what could I be, or how could I be in this FIFA esports ecosystem? This is his first ever year competing. Off the back of one superb performance, yet some consistency in turning up in those FGS tournaments. He's made an E-World Cup Grand Final. He's been amongst the best 32 players in the world. He made it to the top 4, $25,000 in prize, and he'll walk away with also the experience of a lifetime, no doubt.
And he will be back. You can almost guarantee that. You can see what quality he's got. But Umit coming forward to kill the game. We can start to get the graphics made, get the conversations rolling.
Let's talk about it, Rich.
Nicholas versus Umit in our grand final.
Argentina versus Germany. Umit versus Nicholas. One of those two will be world champion for the 2022 FIFAe season.
Both got big support here as well in the Bella Arena. There's data to go on. I'm sure Rachel on the couch will be looking at the group standings, how they matched up in those groups, what's the previous matchups looking like, but all we know, it's going to be absolutely outstanding.
Great ball over the top. Might fall back to Hullet. It'd be a nice goal if he was to just pop up and score. You're absolutely right. And after nearly 4 days of action here, from 32 down to the final 2, we have a grand final. RB Leipzig coming. We'll take on Guild Esports' Nicholas. A two-legged game worth $250,000. It comes up straight after this one, so
what a win for them. What a win. Talk about putting down a statement of intent going into the grand final.
Well, Germany might not have travelled in numbers to Copenhagen, as they usually have in past years, but they're in safe hands with this man. He's in the grand final. Umit will take on Nicholas in just a matter of moments' time. Commiserations to Emre Yilmaz. What a year. What a breakout year. Maybe you could argue rookie of the year. I'm sure we'll see him again a lot more. And there we have it. After 2 incredible semi-finals, let's head down to Spencer Owen, who's joined by our grand finalist. He'll be playing Nicholas.
You've done it. You topped your group, but you've continued that form in the knockouts. You've gone the distance. You're in the final. How do you feel?
Of course, it's an amazing feeling. I have to play now against Nicholas. He's one of the best. He has very much experience. He was also in my group. One game I won, one game he was won, so it will be a very tough match.
Yeah, Nicholas won 2-0, but you won 1-0 in those 2 games. So like you say, nothing between you. It's going to be an amazing final. Have you even thought about the fact that you've secured a minimum of $100,000?
Yeah, of course, it's amazing, 100,000 euros. I don't know what should I do with that money, but I will look and I will ask my brother and what I can invest.
It could still be 250 though, let's not forget. That's what the final game is going to be up for. Incredible scenes. What do you expect? I know you've played him twice already, but what do you expect from Nicholas in the final?
Of course, Nicolas, for me, he has the best defense in the whole game. Like in FIFA 22, he's the best defensive player, but it's really hard to come in his box. So it will be very, very difficult for me. So I have to keep going and maybe score the 1-0.
Have you got any words for your amazing support here? Obviously, they were cheering you whenever you scored and when you got the win.
Jungs, ich liebe euch. Dankeschön an alle, die supporten, auch an alle in Deutschland, die immer da sind. Vielen, vielen Dank, Jungs. Ich küsse eure Herzen.
It's been an unbelievable performance from you. Obviously, talk about your opponent you just beat there, Emre Yilmaz.
Emre Yilmaz is an incredible player. He's made the top 4 in his first season. He's only 17 years old. It's his second offline event, so he's a very, very crazy player, and I wish him the best for the future.
Fantastic words there from you, Umut. He's in the final, guys. He's going to be playing Nicolas. Well done to you, my friend. I'm going to speak to Renzo now from Team Hullet. And we've said so many things about Team Hullet on this broadcast because they've had such an amazing, not just year, but few years. Obviously, Emre's not quite made the final, but from a Team Hullet perspective, how are you feeling?
I mean, I'm super glad. This guy has been playing 1.5 years, and he's made the World Cup in 6 months training with us. So it's just, I'm so super proud. I mean, this guy... No words to describe it.
Round of applause for Emre Yilmaz. What a bright future this lad has. I mean, I'm sure you will agree with me, Renzo, when you say that this lad can go to the very top. Maybe it's not going to be this year, but he's got a bright future.
I mean, you should ask him this question. What's up next year?
Next year, more events, Champions League, more competitions, so more trophies.
It's been a fantastic performance. Well done. I'm glad you're getting the recognition he deserves. And it's not just Emre Yilmaz either. Think about Team Hullet in general. You know, you have an amazing tournament, an amazing few years.
Yeah, but I mean, in the end, we do want to win the trophy, so we got to step up our game. Obviously, Umut, I think he deserved it, and Nicolas, just crazy players, and hopefully next year we can get the title.
Emre, who do you think is going to win the final? You've just gone against Umut there, Umut versus Nicolas.
I think Umut.
He's going to back Umut, the man who just played him. We'll give it another round of applause for Emre Yilmaz, who exits the competition, but has been unbelievable. This trophy is the one that's up for grabs, and we have one game left, a 250,000 game. Guys in the studio, what are you thinking?
What are we thinking? Well, we have this guy, Foot Crunch, next to me. He's been cheering because he's a massive Umut fan, aren't you, Foot Crunch? Welcome back. And you're donning the headband as well as a bit of a salute to Umut, aren't you?
It's a new thing that I wear only for good luck. So I brought it in for the previous games.
I need to know the origin. When did the headband first make an appearance?
So I did a video where I spent a certain amount of money to beat FIFA, and then when I beat the game, I open a pack, and in that pack I go Icon Moments R9. So I said before I got the pack, I'm like, bro, if I want to improve my odds, let's buy something. So I went, bought a headband. The first one I saw, I was actually going to buy a more expensive one. I was like, nah, let's try this. If it works, then we try it at home. We got R9. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm going to use it every time for good luck.
Well, maybe you should give Umut that headband. Because remember, Nicolas has the necklace. Umut, and that's pink. Maybe Umut needs the pink headband which you're wearing as well. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Umut, if you need it, if you're watching, Foot Crunch has something for you. But no, on a serious note, I mean, what a final we have now set up. Nicolas the Iceman against Umut. Now, I'm saying the breakout star of this year.
I think this is the best we could have got, right? When you guys think about this tournament, who do you think was going to make it to the final? Probably them too?
I actually have got Umut going all the way. Anyway, let's have a look at the goals from that game. Umut scoring 4 past Emre Yilmaz, who managed just 1 there, but he's been a goal-scoring machine throughout the tournament.
And had good variety, as you would expect. Really good box work here, turning, moving, across the body, maneuvering, shall we say. Opens up a little bit of space for R9. You see the celebration, and it's been such a progression in his game. I was there from the very beginning as he beats the offside trap again. The goalkeeper's in a bad position. It's a brilliant pass that no one else saw. And originally, when Umut burst onto the scene, being a teenager then as well, of course, in Atlanta, he looked like a defensive player, and now he has the total package. And I said this earlier, that's a beautiful 1-2 just to kind of unlock some space from Yilmaz as he's trying to forge that comeback. But I said it earlier that I'm not even sure we've seen the peak of Umut, and he's in the finals. Top 2 players in the world, and he's deserved it. But I just keep seeing him getting better and better and better. And sometimes he makes the game look so easy. He's also going to have the last goal here being a bit of a takeaway, a bit of an error from Yilmaz. But because he had to chase the game, he was looking to speed things up. It allowed him to be able to kind of progress and make this work. You got a lot of space here. Beautiful save, goalkeeper work there from Alisson, scooting him just ever so slightly. And here's that error I was talking about. Interception, pass it across. And at that point, we knew that this was done, dusted, and Umit was going to move on to the finals.
I mean, this is the final then. Nicholas 99 FC and Umit Foot Crunch is still cheering. You're going to see him cheering a lot more, I'm sure. But let's just go back as well to yesterday. Who did Umit have to defeat? Matias Bonanno, another player from Argentina.
That was a nervy game for you. I saw you over there.
I was
there
chilling.
might have been some tears in that one as well.
I knew we were going to win.
But can he make it 2 Argentinians defeated in a row? That's a tough ask.
I can't lie. The first day I arrived, I told you guys, I'm leaving the day he leaves the cup. So I'm 100% sure he's going to get the job done. I trust.
But I mean, Mike, we were saying kind of Matias Bonanno was definitely a firm favourite coming into this. He's already taken him down. That must have given him a lot of confidence. Now he's going up against the second player from Argentina, knowing that he's already defeated one.
Well, if this happens for him, Argentina as a country is not going to be happy whatsoever going up against Umit. And if you really watch that Matias game as well, that was one of the most intense games that we've had on display. Not a lot of action in terms of goals, but each competitor trying to outthink each other. And Umit really didn't get his first breakthrough, shout out to Matias on the defensive end, until the 88th minute. And was able to force that extra time.
I mean, it's the same scoreline as well. Remember, 4-1 in the end there. Is that something in the water? Okay, may happen again. Obviously, we had a player from the Netherlands there. Boys, I want to ask you as well, can we read into anything about the matchups in the group stages? They both won 1 each there.
Yes, I was actually talking with the Rebels Gaming guys before, and we were like, wait, isn't it crazy that they were both in the same group and they are both now in the final? So
all that I'm hearing is that it confirms that Group C was the most difficult group, and we had labeled it already as the group of death. I think this is that confirmation that the top 2 finalists here, of course, came from the same group. And in those matches, it might be safe to say that we saw a 1-0 and also a 2-0 just exchange between them. It might not be a high-scoring affair. I think there's going to be a lot of tactical adjustments done on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, guys at home as well, congratulations if you did actually join our poll on the first day, saying, I guess, which is the hardest group to get out of. It has been confirmed. It was Group C. 2 players from Group C in the final. What do you make of that one? And the second poll was, where is the winner coming from? South America, North America, Europe or Asia? Well, we've got 2 of those still left in the running. South America and Europe. Where's it coming from?
You know what he's going to say. What do you mean?
You know what? Europe.
Mike LaBelle?
That's tough. I kind of feel like this is Nicholas's year, but maybe I'll just go in against him just so we have some barrier. You're in between us, so Foot Crunch not going to jump across the couch. I'm safe over here.
Again, Nicholas has had a little bit more of a rest.
Yeah.
Umit, fresh, riding the momentum, riding that wave. In terms of that, which one is more advantageous?
Wow. I think coming into this, more than likely Nicholas is the one that most people will be like, he has proven in the past that he can get the job done. He'll get it done this time.
And we've seen him now at multiple FIFAe World Cups with Nicholas. We've seen a top 16, a top 8, and a top 4. So now it's kind of fitting that he's in the finals. And what you going to do with it? And he's also been teasing potential retirement if he wins the FIFAe World Cup. And also you start asking the question is, where does he end up in terms of a career path here? And the greatest FIFA players, where does Nicholas join that conversation if he were to win this game? A lot of projecting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we think, is he a GOAT if that continued? But that's still 2 legs of FIFA to go, and we've been speaking about that. I think now that it is 2 legs, we've really seen these players flourish, haven't we, in their styles. They can kind of open up and really play the FIFA that we know and love from them.
Yeah, clearly. One of the things that I've also noticed is how little they try and force the ball compared to how it was before.
Yeah.
In the group stage, it was like, yeah, you know, we're chilling, we're now competitive, but we're chilling. And then now, 2 games, keep the ball, do not even give it away. There are chances that I know they can shoot and score, but they're like, no. Let's go for the safe pass, score that one. We don't want my opponent to get the ball.
I mean, Foot Crunch as well, you know Umit really well. Can you just tell us what he's like away from the FIFA scene. What's he like in real life when you're hanging out with him at a coffee shop? What is the real Umit?
Well, the first thing, I don't know if anybody knows, but he loves his...
What's he going to say?
He loves food. The food that he loves is... It's not shawarma. It's a Turkish grab, like grabs.
Kebabs.
Kebabs. Yes, he loves kebabs. That's his favorite food. When I met him, first time I met him in Germany, he told me the best thing, the thing that I love to eat the most, kebabs. He will eat 3 kebabs a day, if he could. And I'm, okay.
Well, maybe that's how Umit will celebrate then, with kebabs if he wins later on tonight. I mean, what do we know about Nicholas? What does he like to eat?
I was just going to say, if he's got $250,000 extra, that's a lot of kebabs you can buy. Nicholas, his name kind of speaks for himself in many regards. Easily one of the most consistent and most successful players that we've seen in the competitive scene, and he's won so many different types of events. He won E-Champions League this year. We've seen him win E-Club. We've seen him win multiple playoffs. We've seen him win LQEs. He kind of needs this on the resume, and if he knocks out E-Nations as well, he's got everything. He's collected the trifecta.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nicholas and Umit, two awesome up here yesterday. Duck.
They've both shown you that champion's pedigree.
Yeah, and I guess...
lights go out, we start moving. Running through it all like dope, we ain't losing. We ain't gonna fall back, now we going in. Ain't nobody stopping us, only option to win. So we take it all, never fall on gas. And we going hard, no flaws, all facts. If you wanna call it a bluff, let's dance. But you better trust that you stand no chance. We on that next level. We on that next level. We on that next level. No capping, ain't nobody quite as good when I'm rapping. When I hit the stage, the flames they start flying. Ironic, the king of the jungle, but not lying. Wouldn't be as good as me if I stopped trying. Better just pick a corner and start crying. I'll be the one they looked up to when I'm crashing down. I was born for the throne. I look good in that crown. When the lights go out, we start moving. Running through it all like dope, we ain't losing. We ain't gonna fall back, now we going in. Ain't nobody stopping us, only option to win. So we take it all, never fall on gas. And we going hard, no flaws, all facts. If you wanna call it a bluff, let's dance. But you better trust that you stand no chance. We on that next level. We on that next level. I look good in that crown. We on that next level.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
planet. We started this journey 4 days ago with 32 players. Now we have just 2. It's time for the FIFAe World Cup Grand Finals. A chance to cement your name in the FIFA history books. Take home $250,000. Lift this prestigious trophy for 2 players. The time is very much now. Well, welcome then to everybody in the arena here, and welcome to everybody at home as well. You're in for a treat. You're about to watch the biggest FIFA event on the planet. Cannot wait for this one. Spencer Owen, though, alongside me. You've been here a few times before. This is a moment in history. How does this compare to the other World Cup finals?
I think every single time, Rachel, it gets bigger and better. That's certainly the way it feels. I think this is my 6th E-World Cup, the 5th that I've worked on, and yeah, I'm just so excited for this final. I think we've got 2 incredible finalists.
Yeah, well, let's talk about those 2 now. The Nicholas 99 FC from Team Guilds, of course, and then RB Leipzig's Umit. 2 fantastic players, one from South America, one from Germany. A Germany fella already lifts this trophy, already has this, of course, in his hands at Mo Alba from 2019. Tell me about those 2 players. You've spoken to them both a lot. Nicholas first. How has he been this tournament?
I mean, he's lived up to his name, the Iceman, right? We've seen him score injury time winners that are worth $100,000, and he doesn't move. He doesn't celebrate. And I don't even know if that will change in the final if he scores a winner. I think inside he's doing somersaults, but he just doesn't show that. He's such a professional, and that's why he's been able to come through adversity. He had a bad first day. He was looking near the bottom of his group, but he came through. And then obviously comparing that to Umut, a very different character, much more smiley. I love his little thumbs up thing he does. But let's not get away from that. He's been unbelievable. You know, he topped his group, 30 points. No one got more in the group stage. And he's not really had too much hard work to do. At least he hasn't made it look that way. He's come through all his opponents with relative ease. Do not underestimate the German Umut.
Well, one player has been here before at a World Cup, that's Nicholas. One player is new to this party, that's Umit. They shared the results in the group stages, in the group of death, as we called it, Group C. They now face up again here in the grand finals. Let's go over to Richard Buckley and Brandon Smith, who'll be casting this grand final for their thoughts on these 2 competitors.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rachel and Spen. We can't wait for this one. It is technically the 16th FIFAe World Cup final that's gone down. At the end of this final, Richard, it'll be the 14th name that would have lifted that trophy. What an opportunity this is for both of these 2 that have made it to the grand final.
It's a grand final. Take your notes, rip them up. It doesn't matter anymore. This is what we are here for. $250,000 will be going to the winner. You prepare all season for this, but nothing will prepare you for what these 2 players are about to face on that stage.
Yeah, and in terms of what this means to these players, well, it's an achievement like no other. The FIFAe World Cup, being a FIFA World Champion, especially for someone like Nicholas, who's been here 5 times. He's been to an E-World Cup before. It's got better and better throughout the process as well, dating back to the young lad we saw in Los Angeles back in FIFA 17 that qualified himself for his first ever E-World Cup, where he got top 16, and it just got better and better along that road.
He's been playing for the last 5 years, and this is his best year so far. We've had 2 big 1v1 tournaments, and Nicholas could potentially win them both. He is a man on a mission. Umut stands in his way. What a final we have up for you.
Yeah, great final. We can't wait to bring it to you. It's on the way very shortly, but before we do that, let's get a few last words from the guys in the studio.
Yeah, thanks so much then, boys. There, we cannot wait for this one. Just moments away now for the grand final for 2022. We haven't had it, Mike Labelle, for 2 years now. The last time we crowned a world champion was 2019. Mo Alba, he's still sitting at home going, who is going to take that title from me? Where's it going to go?
Yeah, well, it's obviously going to go to one of these 2 competitors. If you're putting me on the spot, I still think Nico maybe is a slight favorite coming into this, but it could go either way. These are 2 of the best competitors in the world. They've got themselves here, and even over the course of the weekend, they've been able to prove that time and time again. Nicholas really only had kind of an off day 1. He battled back so well, and I feel that this event means even more to the competitors because we had that hiatus. We weren't here for a couple years, and now everyone's back to land, and this is the major bragging rights, the major money, the life-changing opportunity, all-inclusive package deal.
What's going to be key to success out there?
You have to convert your opportunities. So being clinical, defense will win championships. I know it's very much so a cliche. And then you're going to see a lot of controlling between both of these competitors in terms of the formations, the tactician approach to how they play FIFA, and being able to dictate what happens and when it happens throughout the midfield.
Will be Umit's first title. Nicholas could add another one to his collection. We cannot wait for this one to see which way is it going to go. Is it going to stay in Germany or is it going to go to South America? Spencer, you're down there, ready for the players to come out.
Yes, I am, Rachel. I've got to say, the atmosphere in here is unbelievable. It's electric. It's nearly time for our final. Who will be lifting this trophy? Let's meet our finalists. Here they come, our finalists of the FIFAe World Cup 2022. Nicholas 99 FC from Argentina and Umut from RB Leipzig and Germany. Wow, these two guys have done so well. The crowd are at a different level right now. I'm not going to keep you two for too long. We just have to do the small matter of a coin toss to work out who's going to be home in the first leg and who's going to be home in the second leg. It does have an effect on who gets kickoff in extra time if it goes to extra time. So I'd like to welcome our official FIFA referee, Philip, to the stage, who is going to do this coin toss. There's a blue side to the coin, there's a black side to the coin. Can you just confirm, Philip, who's blue and who's black?
Black is Umut, blue is Nicholas.
Okay, if you'd like to do the honours, please, Philip. Oh, and it's going to go all the way, guys. But I can confirm that's blue. That's blue. It's blue, which means who's blue?
Nicholas.
Nicholas, you're going to be home in the second leg. Umut, you're going to be home in the first leg. Best of luck to both of you if you'd like to make your way to your booths. This is it! The FIFAe World Cup 2022. It's been 3 years in the making. The anticipation has been unreal, but it's time to find out who's taking home the trophy and who's winning $250,000. Over to you, Richard and Brandon.
Well, it's been nearly 1,000 days since someone has lifted that FIFAe World Cup. It came back in London, where was Mo Alba. The story is this: a German could win it back-to-back, or there could be a new nation in the history of FIFA esports in Nicholas 99 with Argentina. The stage is set. The money is there, $250,000 up for grabs. We only hope it can play up to the atmosphere we've got here in Copenhagen. Please be a great grand final, we beg.
I don't think there's any world in which this doesn't deliver on the biggest stage possible. The fans are rabid in the audience. You've got half of the arena team Nico, half of the arena team Umut. You can hear the chants raining out. I cannot wait.
I mean, that's the classness down there.
Final.
You've got Dolomite front row down there, who is out of the tournament, who he lost to in the virtual Bundesliga last year. This year he beat him in the virtual Bundesliga. There's a class act in a lot of these FIFA scenes. That's one side is German and RB Leipzig. The opposite side, I mean, you've got pretty much anyone that speaks Spanish, one, and two, all the Spanish pros in there. Tuga's in there as well, supporting Nicholas. There's a lot of love for both of these two competitors. At the end of the day, congratulations for getting to this stage. This is a FIFAe World Cup final. It's so different to any other FIFA tournament. It is the biggest FIFA tournament that's ever been created. $250,000 on the line. It's the biggest it's ever been.
And the question now is, how do they prepare? How do they feel coming into this grand final? Brandon, you've got the tail of the tape, how they got to this moment.
Absolutely. Well, you might as well call this the Group C final, Rich.
Yeah,
both in Group C. Retrospectively, one finished first, one finished second. They played each other twice in the group. Umut won 1-0. Nicholas, I think, won 1-0. Umut won 2-0. They both shared a result. They did match up in the Champions League in the finals, the top 8 there in the winners' bracket side, when Nicholas did win that game 4-2. They've been sparring backstage before the tournament even started. There's a lot of respect there between the two, but now they've got to work out, right, we've played each other quite a few times. How are we going about this one?
And does something tactically change coming into this grand final? There's been conversations, we were chatting with pro players and sort of experts of the game. We even had a little chat with that team Umut camp, and they said we might do something different in this grand final. We know what Nicholas has got. We know how he likes to line up. We know how he likes to play. Let's take him for 6. Let's do something different. We are here.
Well, here we go. 2 legs of FIFA esports on the way. Live from Copenhagen. This is the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. It's officially underway. I mean, this is such an opportunity. We spoke about the situation of being the best FIFA player that we've ever seen in this generation in terms of what could happen if Nicholas was to lift the trophy later today here in Copenhagen.
He takes the mantle. When you look at his consistency over the last 5 years, it is simply remarkable. On the other side of it, if there's one player who's been the standout guy in this tournament, it's the German Umut.
Well, it's Germany against Argentina, and it's Umut against Nicholas. And this is the grand final, the game of all games, $250,000 on the line, and a chance to call yourself world champion, something we've not been able to do for the last few years. Now, we have the ultimate opportunity for one of these two to do so. Nicholas, a 5-time FIFAe World Cup finalist. He's got better and better along the way. This has been his best ever outing in a tournament. And some would argue it's maybe the most polished Nicholas we've seen. He won an E-Champions League this year. He's had his hands on silverware. He's been in finals. He's had to face adversity in a bracket reset against Matías Padano a few months ago. But still, even when he was bottom of Group C for a period on day one, he just kept going.
And he always seems to prosper. He always seems to build into tournaments. You go back to 2019 when he's back against the wall in the group standings, 0-3. He then won his next 4 games and went through on 12 points. He finished in a console final, losing out to Mo Albert. He's gone one step further. Can he get over the line?
Well, we spoke about how both these two are going to set up in this game in terms of how they are going to line up formation-wise, tactically-wise. One thing you've got to know about Umut, he scores a lot of goals. He's netted 40 up to this point. His scoreline was exactly the same from round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final. 4-1 wins off the bat. 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. He's just a goal scorer. Nicholas, yes, has got a bit of both in his game in terms of a fantastic defender, but he scored 13 goals less than him. Yes, they're both in a final still, but Umut, offensively, has been more dangerous throughout this tournament.
And you would probably say that Nicholas hasn't played at his best in this entire tournament so far. Maybe on day 2 we saw glimpses of it in the groups, but in these knockouts he's not blown people away. It's been 3-2 victories. If ever he's going to have to perform to the level that he knows he can, it is right here, right now, when the lights shine brightest.
Just keep an eye on the far side of your screen there. It's a bit of an overload going on. I think it's Marcella that's queuing up there. João Cancelo looking to build into the box. Well defended by Marcelo. But off the bat, Rich, is it a 4 at the back we're seeing from him?
It is, yeah. He's certainly changed. He's adjusted coming into this grand final.
Well, that's interesting, because
he wants to get at him.
His coach Daniel, and he said, look, we're not going to start a 3-5-2. Many people would have probably expected that. We're not doing it for this one.
What was the exact quote? We're going to go for it.
We're going to take a risk and we're going to go for it. That was his words.
Is it?
Could be through with an early chance. Messi's onside. Deflection into the hands of Van der Sar.
You saw really early there, that goalkeeper movement. He was so keen, Nicholas, to try and narrow down the space with Van der Sar. Umut will be recognising and taking mental notes of all these small little margins and small little percentages that potentially could play out and get the better of in the grand scheme of 2 legs of FIFA.
A lot of time to play here. 2 legs on the way. We've had a number of great FIFA Interactive World Cup, or as it's now called FIFAe World Cup finals in our time, that have had penalties, gone the extra mile, cost your mind back to Mohamed Al-Bashir. Who knows, might pop up over the next few weeks here in Denmark. Just feel like these two have had such good experience in terms of finals that naturally, as you can imagine, no one's going to be giving away their bluff.
Is it?
Could be off. Mbappe, has he got the legs? Mbappe could be through for Nicholas. He's just spooned it. He timed it green, but the animation of the player just didn't want to hit the ball.
It's a good chance, Nicholas bursting through. It wasn't quite a one-on-one. There was a good bit of pressure from the defender just sort of on his back. But it'll be positive signs for Nicholas as he wins the ball on the switch of play.
And naturally, that forward the back, there is going to be the extra odd gap that's going to appear. That was one of those examples of just how much the fullbacks will be stretched with the overload of the 3-5-2. Davies, who scored a handful of fantastic goals for Nicholas throughout this World Cup, looking to add his mark again.
So the support for Umut in full flow.
List of pros there: Dolomite, Predator, FIFA, Musti. All in line, supporting their fellow German on his way. Oh no, great save, Van der Sar. Corner to come in quickly. Van der Sar's off his line. It's risky, but it's worked out for him.
Came a long, long way there, did Van der Sar, to make sure that he got two hands on that, claimed it tight to his chest. I think corners, in particular, are going to be a big, big factor in this grand final. Can Nicholas have his way? Can he dominate where he has in previous matches in the set-piece department? Or does Umut have something special up his sleeve?
Well, this is like a bit of a passage of play for Umut as he comes forward again. Great pass he's been doing throughout those driven balls into the likes of Ronaldo. Whether that's Nazario or Cristiano. It's been a way he's liked to play, Rich, and he's been so deadly with it throughout these last few days.
It's just that pass, so precise, so pinpoint. It penetrates the defensive line. He can ping it into the feet of one of his attacking players, which is typically Moments R9, and he does have a lot of success in that department. Final chance of the half will fall to Nicholas, because the commentator, no it won't, and that will do us for 45 minutes.
Half time between the two. If we really broke it down, there was the Mbappe chance from Nicholas, which was a time Green finished the animation of the player, just didn't really connect, to be honest. And then, I mean, what, one fantastic save from Van der Sar. It was an acrobatic effort to keep the game at 0-0. Still a lot to unfold in this game. If you have just tuned in, this is the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. Well, at the end of this, someone will be lifting the trophy here live in Copenhagen.
No, there will be, and we also have to keep on reiterating the money on the line.
Yeah, it's the biggest payday.
It's the biggest, I want to say, price discrepancy that we've seen as well. It's a $150,000 game of FIFA. If you win this, you take home $250K, $250,000 in your bank account. You finish second, $100,000. Yes, still an incredible amount, but it will sting.
Also, I think this year of all, I don't think we've ever seen such a split to second place as well. Yep. Before it was definitely below $100,000 this time. A huge lump of cash. Back on the way for the second half here in leg one. Don't worry if you haven't just tuned in, you are not missing a goal as of yet. As expected, narrowly, tightly contested this game. Nerves playing a factor, no doubt. Their biggest games they would have played all year, all season, and in their career. There is no stage like the FIFAe World Cup.
And there's no time like the present.
Davies. Finds Hullet. Davies again. He's been the magician for Nicholas. Can he find the cutback? Ronaldo, that was quite an interesting effort from CR7.
Yeah, very, very tight angle. No real composure shown there. Quite surprisingly. He didn't have too much in the box, though, to look for a cutback, so he elected to try something spectacular, maybe even playing on a rebound off the goalkeeper had it been on target.
On the flip side, someone who would have given Nicholas no doubt some insight would have been Matthias Pinano, who did get knocked out the tournament to him. Yesterday it was a 4-1 victory in the end, but there'd have been a lot of insight there, and he'll be supporting his fellow Argentine, who he does team up with in just a few weeks' time in the FIFAe Nation Series.
See Ruud Hullet bursting into the box, playing as a false 9 at the minute.
This is nice, R9, this is Nicholas. Wins a corner, that's not good for Umut, because you never know what's coming from these sort of moments.
Dangerous
played in quickly. This is Nicholas looking for CR7. Didn't maybe find the bounce down he was originally looking for there. Sergio Ramos, excuse me, that got that touch on the ball.
60 minutes gone already. This game is absolutely flying by. 2 legs of FIFA if it's the first time you are joining us. Aggregate scoreline to separate.
Cancelo. This is Nicholas on the hump for an opening goal in this grand final. Finds Mbappe. He's getting stopped in his tracks by Spinazzola.
Be a chance for Ummi. You just saw, I think it was Ronaldo run offside there, but that will force the defence back 3-4 yards.
Messi steal. Spinazzola on the overlap. Couple of ball rolls. Can't get past Ramos. His lunging leg there. Oh, well, that could be a chance. Again, gets away with it, does Nicholas. Well recovered.
Can't give mistakes away like that. The importance of keeping possession of the ball in tight areas, especially in the defensive third.
I mean, we saw that, Rich, in the semi-final, especially in that Oberon game.
Yep.
Added time when Nicholas was able to strike. Just off a heavy touch from the Italian. Literally, we're looking at a game of mistakes here. Who's going to be the first player to make one?
Just tried firing it in through the gap there. R9 Ronaldo made the run. Similar to what Nicholas is doing there. Both players at the minute defending really, really well. There's no room anywhere in those defensive back threes and 4, respectively.
We're getting very close to a 0-0. First leg of game at FIFA.
1 leg if it goes 0-0.
Best of 1 pretty much, isn't it?
Best of 1. Just like the group standings were.
To be honest, even those games didn't have all the goals in. There will be one more decent chance, he'd like to say. That's a bad touch from Davies. Well recovered there. And the side to pick it up. Has the game gone as expected, would you say?
Yes, I definitely think so. If there weren't going to be a goal in the first sort of 10-15 minutes, I thought this was the style of final we were going to get. Tactical, gameplay, quite methodical, playing the percentages. But Nicholas always does have something up his sleeve, whether that's a long shot, whether that's a cross. We saw the green time Davies strike earlier.
There's the poor pass, dispossessed, doesn't it? Nicholas will pounce on the chance, back to goal line 9. Recovered from Element Tau.
And nerves will certainly play a factor as well. We've picked it up, everybody here in the arena. You'll have never played in a situation or an arena or an atmosphere like this.
Well, win back from Ullet again. Nicholas doing a great job of just picking up these little heavy touches that Umit's offering him. He's now looking to recycle this into the box somehow. Does well, finds Marcelo short. Marcelo from distance! Will sting the woodwork.
What a finesse. He won the ball high up the pitch. He's curled it with Marcelo. And he's very fortunate as well, because that could have bounced off the goalkeeper as he outstretched in his goal.
That's what we'll do. He spoke about surprise package, Nicholas. Look at that. The finesse shot didn't even need to be timed. Just looping dangerously towards Umit's goal. If it wasn't for the post, who knows how we'll be leaving his first leg. Last chance, Salone here. Looks like we'll be playing for Umit. Building up for added time to follow them. We're looking to throw everybody forward.
He'll also play the percentages, because it is only the first leg. If there's nothing on going forward, it's
quite a press from Nicholas.
Throwing possession away.
Nicholas might get the last chance. Ball over the top into R9. That should do us. Schmeichel hands on it. Halfway point here in the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. And there's nothing really to talk about so far. It's 0-0 between the two. And as you've rightly said, Rich, it's a best of 1. Give it what you got. 1 game of FIFA, 250k on the line. This could be explosive.
A 1-leg shootout to see who will be lifting the FIFAe World Cup. Doesn't get much better than this. Really cagey, really sort of tight affair in the first leg. The finesse shot was probably the only real opportunity to penetrate the goal. It bounced off the post. Even that was a low percentage shot of going in, especially without it being green timed. Both players will settle now going into the second leg, simply because they'll be accustomed to the stage. The atmosphere earlier wasn't as it is right now. It is tense, but also so feisty and electric in this venue.
Also, looking at this game, a set piece could win the FIFAe
could.
World Cup. We're actually at that stage right now. And you said it rightly in terms of the percentage chances. They've had to go for those ridiculous percentage chances because they just haven't let either player have a real chance. The main chances, Rich, came in that first half.
As you can see, the live shots there of the stage. Emmett getting some words of wisdom in his booth on the other side of it. I think Nicholas just submitting the score to the referee. Oh, he's so nervy.
I'll tell you one thing that's good for the viewer right now. It's not been a blowout.
It's not, no. And we've seen that in the past. We've seen finals, sort of, especially in previous years, in tournaments where it's been a two-legged final. The first leg's been 2-3-0, and then in the second leg, someone's chasing, someone's having to go for the game, and then you just get picked up on the counter-attack. Whereas right here, we're going to get very much a similar story to the first leg. I don't know if you were watching, Brandon, on Thursday. I was sat over there in the couch and said, what if we have a $150,000 penalty shootout? And I got told off by Rachel and Mike for saying that makes them feel nervous. We're not there yet, but given how this game is going, we are on our way.
Could you imagine?
We're a quarter of the journey.
I mean, the game's going to take quite a few swings.
Certainly will.
Before we get there, extra time will be needed if, of course, we do need it after 90 minutes. 0-0 if you have just tuned in between Umit and Nicholas. This is the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. As we rightly said, 250k on the line and that all-important trophy. One of these two will be lifting it, potentially, in about 20 minutes' time. What do you think the coach would have said at the halfway point, Rich? Because you can't really fault too much.
Probably just, you would imagine more of the same. Maybe try and go for it a little bit more. I think for Umit, when you look, he's his best when he's on the front foot. Not necessarily, you said he's got one of the best presses in the game. I think that's pretty well known. But also when he is going forward and he's playing those direct, quick-paced passes, those quick-paced dribbles in and around the box, that's when he's almost undefendable. We didn't see too much of that, and I think now we're sort of settling into the game, we're settling into the second leg. One goal and this game will explode, and also this arena will explode with the energy that he's packed in.
If you look at his career in terms of both of these two, there's only been a handful of times that Nicholas has been to a final and lost. I think like twice. One of those was against MS Dasari a few moves ago.
2 in FIFA 19.
I mean, in the 2v2 environment, the Nations Series finals where they lost to the hands of France, you can call that a final, maybe more than 2, sorry. Then there was 2 online qualifiers where I think Palinetto had the better of Nicholas in one of those. But other than that, when he gets to finals,
typically he comes out on top.
Seemingly comes out on top. But on the flip side to Umit, I mean, Atlanta, cross-console final, obviously was a PlayStation champion there, but did lose in the cross-console final. Has been in the virtual Bundesliga, won one, and has lost one.
I think one thing that we often talk about Nicholas, whenever he's in these 50-50 games, he always seems to come out on top. He always seems to edge his opponent by any means necessary. See the support there for Umit in the arena. He needs your support. Both of these two players right now.
Well, we're loading up this one for the second leg. 0-0 so far, all to play for in the FIFAe World Cup. We can only hope that the goals will start flying in the second leg, but it's just been one of those games. Naturally, neither player wants to make a mistake. You can fully understand that. Even let alone take a risk. It's a big risk, eventually, for Umit kicking out that 4 at the back. Didn't really expect that, and there was times when it was pulled apart.
It was, but it wasn't penetrated, so I think he's going to continue with that. I think he'll stick with that. As thumbs up from the referee. I think we're only a few seconds away from our second leg
Have a look at this venue, by the way.
action getting the ball rolling.
Look at that for a venue, those 2 podiums up above us all here in the Bella Arena, capital of Denmark.
Full house.
Here we go then. Second leg underway for the FIFAe World Cup. Who will come out on top? call themselves World Champion. This is their opportunity. When they first signed up to compete in competitive FIFA all that time ago, this was the ultimate goal, to be a World Champion. And this will be the best chance, no doubt, in their career they'll ever get, to be in a grand final, to be this close. It's not a game that's this open still also.
How far will your bottle take you?
Nicholas
keep their head.
With the first chance of the game, kicking from left to right in that gilt strip. We'll be looking to knock on the door of Umit. No way through that time. That will stand strong and make sure he just about intercepts that one. One thing we know about Umit, he's been a heavy goal scorer throughout this tournament, has netted 40 goals in total through group stage and knockouts. Nicholas has done a great job of just keeping him quiet so far.
Is the back four again from Umit, sticking with what worked for him in the first leg.
Just requires, though, as you've just seen there from that was Kimpembe dropping back in. Edmund Tau and Chiellini have to just be so on it, Rich, in terms of the timings of the tackles.
The line as well, with the sort of, when you do back three, your wide mids will tuck in, so you get a little bit more protection in a back four. If one of those centre-backs goes missing, if one of those full-backs goes missing, it can spell disaster.
But at the same time, it adds threat into this side of the...
You get an extra attacker going forward, yeah.
Which you'd like to say it's going to cause more of a headache for Nicholas. But he's been out to overload on the flanks quite well. Remember on the build-up now, this is Ronaldo, drops the shoulder into R9. Again, as always, he has been so good defensively. Militao just coming off the line. When we saw it from Obron, you need something magical to break him down, Nicholas. He's got an elastico through the legs of the player. I mean, I said you do that up 10 times. You're lucky if one time it goes through. So Marcelo comes into one of those midfield positions.
Could be a chance here, starting to build for Umit. Numbers going forward. Alphonso Davies has been a revelation in Nicholas's team as well. Not being used by everybody, but when he has featured in this squad, always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
He's just offered them everything, hasn't he, as well, in terms of that shapeshifter in-game item. It's offered them a lot of goals going forward and a body just to get back as a sort of box-to-box midfielder. Here he comes now, Mbappe into R9. Is there a comeback available? Holland, he just could not shift his body. The animation wasn't there.
Could be it.
I'll tell you what, CR7 could be through. He's in a running race at the moment at the back. It's Cristiano Ronaldo from it. Ball roll, scoop turn. It's Silky. Ball roll again. Great save, Van der Sar. Chance still alive. Back to CR7 again. And Van der Sar will grab it with two hands and bring it to safety.
I just looked up my right-hand shoulder and the Spanish fans are celebrating like they just scored a goal. When you think about how tight that was. I didn't know if we were just going to offload it to R9. I thought that was the pass, that was the opportunity. He tried taking it on his own. Best chance of the game, best piece of attacking play of the game. Falling to Umit, unable to convert.
When it got recycled back in as well, Rich, I thought it's going to be a destined goal. Game starting to come alive now as both players realise that this is literally a best of one, smash and grab. But for $250,000 and in the grand final of the FIFAe World Cup. Third of the game played, near enough.
Already
still goalless.
The pace that this game is passing by, incredible.
It's going to start. Players going to have to start taking risks as well, Rich.
They'll win it.
Top. R9 just a bit too keen there. Well played by Hullet.
It's a good knockdown though from CR7 into a good area as well for Umit. Certainly seems the more likely in this second leg so far. Going forward with intent, runs off the ball, and spaces starting to appear for the German.
10 minutes away from half-time. If you have just tuned in, this is the FIFAe World Cup Grand Final. We're in the second leg between Nicholas and Umit.
Hullet.
Goal is still. In it goes. Could be a chance. In the air, Hullet. Carl Walker, of all people, jumped across from full, but there has to be brave, and he certainly was.
He just saw Ruud Hullet making that move through the middle of the pitch. He's always dangerous. The cross didn't have enough zip on it for him to take it first time.
Umit's turn to come forward. Big switch of play. Finds Spinazzola. He's got the press of Ramos on him. That ball or scoop turn, though, from Cristiano Ronaldo was so silky. And Assar, though, and his keep in that moment.
It was almost the predictable thing to do as well, the ball scoop turn, but when you're in finals like this, the mind is so busy with ideas, offensively and defensively. It can sometimes be the simplest of things that create an opportunity.
We're nearly at half-time, and it's literally going to be 45 minutes to play out the World Cup.
It will be.
No time added on. Referee send us into half-time. Well, we've seen many FIFAe World Cup finals in our time, but not one that's been this tight with this little time left, Richard. 45 minutes away from extra time, potentially 0-0 after 3 halves of FIFA.
I just looked over my shoulder there into Nicholas's booth. Notes being taken, notes being jotted down, information being passed on with 45 minutes left to play. What a final.
Just taking the full pause as well, both of these two. Nicholas will know the job. This is the trophy he's been after for so long. Still seems locked in, doesn't it?
A superstar, Umit, in his own right.
Especially as well in a German scene that's so hard to be recognised in, especially when you've got winners everywhere.
So hard to get recognised.
But it's hard to be at the top.
He's been recognised and he's rose to the top and stayed there as well.
I can tell you now, there's a few Germans in here in Copenhagen. There'll be a lot watching from home, cheering him on. Praying that it can be a back-to-back German winner for the FIFAe World Cup. Back underway. Simple as this. 45 minutes to play. Umit needs something magical. Either player. You've got to think, the countless games of FIFA 22 these have played.
Thousands.
Against pros at all different levels, everything. You know, you've tried, you've tested different things out. The only thing, as we said, we joked around about it, a set piece. It's probably the only thing you're not used to. You know where the shot angles are. You know how a 3-5-2 works if you're on the side of Nicholas. And how well opponents just seemingly just match each other up. Time and time again. There will be a moment of magic to define this final. The question is, who's going to be the magician?
Chance.
Into the box it will go. CR7, what a save from Schmeichel!
Biggest opportunity of the game so far. Cross whipped into the back post. Looked like a guaranteed goal when Ronaldo got up. Chances like that become gold dust as this clock ticks on.
What a chance. When you see Ronaldo in the air like that, Rich, you're panicking.
Oh, if you're Umit, you're thinking, oh, not like this.
Here he comes forward now, striving forward. Oh, 9! Fancy the finesse from that far out, just over the bar and into the pause. We shall go again. 31 minutes left here in our grand final. 0-0 still.
Just grazing the top of the net there was that finesse shot. We've talked a lot about substitutions. We've talked a lot about late game moments. This could be the moment where someone makes an inspired substitution, an inspired change.
Speak about the mental side of FIFA esports, Rich. These two have been Top-class professionals in the way they've handled so many high-pressured moments this weekend. "30 minutes, you know in your head, if you concede now, there's no coming back." Someone's got to score, though.
Fresh, Mbappe.
That's dangerous, very dangerous. Franck Ribéry also on the pitch. Pull it into Mbappe. Chance for Roman Vinicius Jr. Van der Sar with another incredible save.
This game is opening up, corner coming into the box. It's going to be Van der Sar to claim it. Chances falling at either end.
But both goalkeepers are just having the game of their lives. Save after save in all those big moments where you expect players to score. What a chance.
Where is the championship winning moment going to fall?
And as the pressure builds here in Copenhagen, time is running out for these two. Nicholas on the hunt for more late drama, this time in a grand final. Defended well that time, Carl Walker will look to get that ball forward again. There's not going to be many chances left in this one. Is Ronaldo in a running race? Got two players, offers it to Vinicius, who had that unbelievable chance. Ronaldo will turn his man. Mbappe could be through. Well played, Jude Bellingham. With a very strong tackle.
Right place, right time was Jude, but the press is exquisite from Umut to win the ball back.
It's been one of his trademark attributes for his performance at the World Cup and his FIFA 22 season in general. His press has been relentless. He wins the ball back nicely.
Just electing to play a couple of passes around.
Just to sort of slow it down and then rebuild up.
Bring the pace of the game down slightly and maybe look for that one golden opportunity.
Well, well, well. Whoever scores, it's going to be mayhem. Here in the Bella Arena. Big win back from Nicholas. We are 15 minutes away, near enough from extra time here. $250,000 game of FIFA. You know what's on the line, you know what's at stake. Much more than that, world champion status. Chance, David Ginola! Oh no! Oh no! David Ginola! He tried to play a guessing game with Schmeichel. We may have guessed the right way, but the ball went the wrong side of the post.
What a chance for Nicholas.
The pressure cooker goes up a few more notches. 10 minutes left.
It's red timed. He's won it back again, though.
Watch this run. It's the back four. Look, there are gaps appearing now. If Nico can attack quickly, he's just been able to find these extra gaps where David Ginola is pretty fresh onto the pitch. Marcelo, Davies, they interchange well, looking for options now as Umut will try his best to line up two banks of four, midfield and defensively. That one goes out for a goal kick.
Both players have had chances to score. Both players potentially have had chances to win it. Umut will come forward with the world at his fingertips for one final chance here in this FIFAe World Cup Grand Final.
Well, well, there's a way to win the FIFAe World Cup. Let it be an added time now. Well, David Ginola might have ideas. He did this in the semi-final well to Nicholas.
He's playing.
He's having the last chance of the game. No, he's ice cold as always. Whether it be round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final. Has he got a new level of calmness and coolness this time in a grand final, the biggest game of his career, and the last chance to unpick this puzzle, this German puzzle of Umut, which stands in his way of him being a world champion. Marcelo, we've played the added time.
Corner.
Advances, corner. I said it could come down to a set piece, and maybe it might. Played in quickly. Ronaldo down. He's not going to get it. Vinicius is there.
Extra time! Extra time in the E-World Cup Grand Final.
2 legs of nil performances. I mean, it's
been the best nil-nil I've ever seen.
It's been very entertaining in terms of what we've seen. Some incredible saves from Van der Sar and Schmeichel.
Mistakes
as well. The timing of tackles, maybe the goalkeeper movement in parts. You could say. I mean, the red time finishes as well. We've seen another day.
This has been one of the most competitive games that we've seen all in tournament long.
Extra time.
We're in extra time. Let's get into it. Who fancies winning it before penalties?
In the nicest way. Who can hold their bottle if they get a chance? 30 minutes in front of us. In terms of the last 1v1 game of FIFA eSports we're going to see in a tournament like this. It's not been a bad way to end out the FIFA 22 yet. Nicholas off the mark, looking to get his first goal in this grand final. It could be the winning goal of how this final has played out so far. Awful touch, Ramos.
And he got onto the sort of the edge of the box there after the lateral heel-to-heel with Ronaldo. Just didn't have too much on when it went into Jude Bellingham. Had to go backwards, had to try and recycle, and in the end, poor touch from Ramos turning over possession. Now Ummet will come forward.
Just can't predict.
You don't know where this game is going to turn.
Ummet's time now to turn up, to make something happen. The goal of his career, maybe. Militao, sorry. Very good, as always, as he has been for Nicholas along that back three of centre-backs.
And it looks like we've got into a slightly different shape as well. Ramos coming over to this right-hand side.
Just like that, as always does in extra time, and nearly at the halfway point. We joked about penalty. You joked about penalties. I say it's a joke. It was a horrible joke.
But also when these two, the match games in the groups, they've been so good and consistent at sort of just getting results. Something has to give, and if that is penalties, that's where we're going to go.
Well, that's going to do us, surely.
He'll get one more chance potentially if he goes forward.
He can move the ball forward. Nicholas, last chance and a half in extra time. Won't play a referee. Thought at least play that one on, said no.
15 minutes away.
15 minutes from penalties to the side.
I'm getting nervous.
The FIFAe World Cup champion for this year. You can't begin to imagine how these two are feeling right now, sitting on these podiums.
It's been a game of missed opportunities. The closest of margins to separate.
I think that's the level though, Rich. If these two play 10 times,
the result 5-5. Yeah,
it really is.
Unfortunately, they're not playing 10 times. They're playing right now, and we're not running it back. It's a one and done. It's 15 minutes for glory.
It's the game of all games. To write yourself in to the FIFA eSports history books as a world champion. What a chance for Argentina too. They've never won a FIFAe World Cup. If they do, it'll be a very special moment. Same for Germany, back-to-back win. Showcasing their dominance on the FIFA scene. 10 minutes to play. We've not seen a goal in over 200 minutes.
Something has to give.
A risk. An extra skill maneuver. Something has to give. Ummet could be through. Ummet could be. What a tackle, Marquinhos.
Huge risk versus reward tackle as well, because if he misses that, it's almost a 2-on-1 against the keeper, guaranteed goal. Just see a little bit more aggression as well. Kimpembe stole the ball back in the centre of the pitch for Ummet as we come into these last 5 minutes.
That sheet there in Daniel's hand, is that a penalty sheet? Call me crazy, but there'll be some prep on pens.
Last
you win at 40 though. We're so close to it. Penalties maybe to be decided at the FIFAe World Cup. Nicholas with the last chance of the game.
Last chance of the World Cup was decided on penalties 2012. Alfonso Ramos was successful.
I'm sure he'll be watching remote. He tweeted me saying that he preferred and thought that Nicholas, would win this title. Oh, we're doing it, Rich. Oh, we are doing it. Well, we waited nearly 3 years, or not, for a FIFAe World Cup final. It's being decided via a penalty shootout. A $250,000 penalty shootout. And here we go. Nicholas steps up first and scores. Umit needs to reply to make it 1-1. Upstairs from Ribéry scores.
One apiece so far from the spot. It's Cristiano Ronaldo for Nicholas. Steps up, saved by Umit. Can he edge in front? His own Ronaldo from 12 yards scores.
Advantage to the German. Nicholas needs to score this one. Up steps Mbappe, who came on late on into the game. He will. Will it be 3 from 3? Coach over the ear of Nicholas. 3 from 3, will it be? He does 3 from 3.
Nicholas, huge moment in this penalty shootout. David Ginola from the spot does score. Umit to go 4-3 up in the World Cup Grand Final. Ruud Gullit scores.
Nicholas has to score. It's as simple as that. Bellingham steps up, does score. Umit, it's in your hands. $250,000 and the FIFAe World Cup. Upstairs Vinicius, he does score. And Germany make history. Back-to-back FIFAe World Cup champion.
He's taken the mantle from Mo Alba and moves on into the history books. What a performance. Consistency is king from Umit, the best player over the week. And he'll be lifting that World Cup aloft.
Well, a lot of FIFA players, when they start to compete, they dare to dream. Dream of moments like this. To be a world champion, the best player in the world. We waited nearly 3 years for the FIFAe World Cup to come back. And I'll tell you what, it came back in style. A penalty shootout to conclude it all. Yes, not always the way you want to see a game like this end, but it had to end some way.
And whenever there's a winner, there has to be a loser. Heartbreak for Nicholas.
You can't begin to imagine for Nicholas. He sits there as well on the flip side. He's been here so long, so close.
Yet so far. Because the person who everybody will have on the tip of their tongue is Umit from Red Bull Leipzig.
Well, they did it in 2019, Germany. They've done it again. He will be your 2022 FIFAe World Cup champion via a penalty shootout. Absolutely incredible scenes here in Copenhagen. I think Umit's going to go and just check in on Nicholas there. You can only imagine the pain, the discomfort, the words. You can't even begin to imagine for Nicholas 99. Still, forget the result here. He really is a true sportsman in this e-sport. He's paved the way for so many.
And that's the sportsmanship that we love to see. Incredible scenes. That's the first time in 5 years I've seen really that level of emotion from Nicholas. What a final.
Well, thousands came many months ago. They battled it out via online qualifiers and tournaments, and just the dream to be in the top 32, which in just that was good enough. Germany didn't travel that well in numbers this time compared to normally, but still, there was one that made it to Championship Sunday. Umit is your FIFAe World Cup champion for 2022.
Wow, truly incredible, emotional scenes here. But guys, I am very happy to announce that I'm standing here with the FIFAe World Cup 2022 champion, Umit! Unbelievable scenes here in Copenhagen. The German from RB Leipzig is the world champion and the best FIFA player in the world. in 2022. He did it the hard way on penalties, and a hard way to lose as well for Nicolas Despera. For him, the Argentinian, who's come so close once again. But is the FIFAe World Cup 2022 champion. You can see what it means to him and his friends and his colleagues. What a big win for Germany. That's 2 in a row for the nation of Germany. And it's a huge win for his team, RB Leipzig, as well. I'm sure there'll be some big celebrations in Copenhagen tonight. Truly unbelievable scenes here for and as he embraces the many friends and family he has here. Dylan Mike there, another top quality FIFA player, congratulating his compatriot. And I feel like these scenes will go on for some time. I'm going to try and get some words with Umut if I can squeeze through. We've got to speak to the world champion. I'm going to try and speak to Umut quickly, guys. Umut, how are you feeling, Umut?
Of course, it's crazy feeling. I dreamed so long about this moment, and now it's coming true. Dreams come true. So it's so crazy, I can't talk anymore.
Umut, you're the world champion! Yeah! 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 I think they're happy, guys. Yeah! I think that's a happy crowd. $250,000. Umut's taking it home with him, as well as that trophy which stays in Germany. I'm with Dylan Mike here. Dylan, what are your thoughts on what you've just seen?
I'm just so happy for him, and how devastated he felt when he lost the final against me in the Virtual Bundesliga. And now, I mean, he deserved it. For me, in my opinion, he's the best player this year, and he's proven it. And obviously, I'm really happy for him.
Unbelievable scenes, winning on penalties. I mean, it hasn't happened since Alfonso Ramos did it in 2012. You got to feel for Nicolas as well, right?
Yes, obviously, he deserves at least 1 world champion title until now. He's qualified for 5, and I think that it's just a small margins, maybe just a tiny bit of unluckiness in the games. And if it weren't for those things, he would have had 1 as well by now.
Both goalkeepers, so important for both teams. What does it mean for the nation of Germany? Obviously, that's where you're from. You've always produced fantastic FIFA players. 2 World Cups in a row won by Germans. Are you the best nation in FIFA?
Definitely. I mean, today we proved it again that we are the best nations. We arrived with the most players here. And like Moaba did in 2019, Umut won this year, and there's going to be a German winner next year as well.
Maybe it'll be you.
Hopefully.
Well done. Thank you, Dylan and Mike. Obviously, we still have the E-Nations to come, which will decide the best nation. But we have him here again, Umut, the champion. Have you got any words you want to say for the amazing support you've got here?
Auf jeden Fall in Deutschland. Ich liebe euch alle, die supportet haben, alle Jungs, die hier sind. Keiner hat meine Stimme. Ich küsse eure Herzen, ihr seid die Besten auf alles.
And we're just speaking to your compatriot Dylan Mike about the fact that German players have won the last 2 FIFAe World Cups. Do you think you're the strongest nation in FIFA?
Yeah, I think we have the strongest nation. We have so many great players. All German players are here. Everybody's strong. And next year, one of them will win.
I've got, I'll say $1 million question, but really it's a $250,000 question. What are you going to do with the money?
I think I will invest it, so I don't know yet. I will look with my brother who I can invest well, so I don't like to expend too much money for stupid things.
A sensible answer from a sensible man. I'm sure big celebrations tonight in Copenhagen, though.
Yeah, of course. I never drank in my life. Maybe it would change today, so we will look. Before the tournament, I think Ali, Predator FIFA, asked me if you win the World Cup, you would drink. I said maybe, so I will look, but yeah, I can't not say anything.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you enjoy your celebrations, but well done again. Unbelievable throughout the whole tournament. Our world champion, Umut, well done. I've got another German with me here who can talk about his compatriot, Kay Correa. Big hug here from the big German. It's a real family feel across the German players. What are you thinking?
I'm so happy for him. I have no voice.
Have you lost it from shouting for him?
Yeah, I've lost it from shouting, but I'm so happy for him. I think he deserves it more than any other. For me, he's the best. He's the best.
I mean, you are the best. You can't win this World Cup without being the best. The scenes are incredible. I've never seen anything like it in all the FIFAe World Cups I've seen. But Kay Correa and another of many, many happy Germans. We're going to go back to our casters now for some reactions, Richard and Brandon.
Wow. A loss for words, really. I've always got words, and I've not got any at the moment. You saw the adulation. We also saw the despair from Nicholas. Heart goes out to the Argentine.
It's tough.
It really is.
I mean, for a viewer, I mean, yes, would have wanted a few more goals in that game, but to end on a penalty shootout, you joked about it a few days ago. It happened. I mean, you can joke about what's happening at the E-Nations or the E-Club series next time, but Nicholas, he's given it his all, a true sport of the scene. 5 years he's been involved. Along that, made so many E-World Cups, and then to lose on a penalty shootout, he'll sit back and think, oh, can I get that close again?
He will get close. He will win a FIFAe World Cup before he hangs up the controller. That is certain. It's a promise that I'm sure he's set to himself. But what a tournament. The biggest tournament of the year. It always is, and this is right up there in one of my favourite E-World Cups that we've ever had the privilege of covering.
And always, it's the finals that deliver. That one's going into the archives. Save it, clip it. It will be, I'm sure, posted for many years to come. We look back on 2022 after 3 years without an E-World Cup. Rich, what a final.
What a final. We'll watch it back. We'll see the celebrations on social media. And you heard it here. Drinks on Umit tonight.
He's got, a lot of drinks to buy. $250,000. Anyway, that's a wrap from us in the commentary booth. A pleasure commentating on our 4th FIFAe World Cup. For now, it's over to the guys in the studio to break down that incredible final.
So much, boys. You were awesome, as always, commentating that grand final. Welcome back to the studio, where we're still loving these scenes down there on the floor. Umit and his team getting lifted up now. Wow, what a moment for that German, keeping the trophy in his country as well. I just love to see it. I mean, what scenes, what emotions. Obviously, we've spoken to Umit already, our world champion for 2022. But I want now to welcome to our studio Daniel from RB Leipzig as well. Obviously, you've joined him on this journey. Congratulations first. You came up here, sigh of relief, heavy breathing, sweating. You've had it all. I mean, how are your emotions right now?
It's unbelievable. It's so unreal. I mean, so much emotions. The moment when Umut won the World Cup, it's like, I can't describe it. My mind was empty, and I don't know, I was crying like a woman.
I mean, describe the last 4 days as well, kind of the roller coaster. He started day one so well there. He topped the table in Group C, and we know what it was like between him and Nicholas. They shared those results in the groups, and then he kept getting better and better. What was the process? What was the journey like for the whole team?
Yeah, so we was very concentrated, very focused the last days. I mean, it was a very long season. We lost in E-Champions League against Nico, and I thought in E-Champions League we won every practice game, and we was like the favorites for the whole tournament. And then a few weeks ago we had a German virtual Bundesliga championship, and Umut lost in the final against Mike, and that was so. Umut was like 1 hour crying backstage. It's so this time we wouldn't lose again. So we only thought we are here to win the game.
And you're talking about some of that adversity that you faced throughout these previous tournaments. You're right there. You're on the cusp of winning. When you go back and you're reviewing the gameplay and you're talking about emotions and managing those emotions, I felt like Umit was a man on a mission in this tournament. We saw no emotion until the final penalty kick save or conversion and so forth. What is it like when you're preparing for that? Because you have to sit there with him while you go back into training mode after you're right on the cusp of being where you want to be.
Yeah, so Umut is like the Iceman. So yesterday against Matthias Bonanno, he scored in the 90th minute. Then he won after extra time, and he didn't smile. It was like, the job is not done. Yeah.
That's the way to beat an Iceman, is with being an Iceman yourself. We nearly saw an exact repeat. I thought we were going to get it, of the 2014 real-life Football World Cup final. We had Germany versus Argentina. It was 0-0. It went to extra time. I thought, is Umut going to steal it like Mario Götze here? But of course, it went to penalties. And how are your nerves during the penalties? Because there's not much you can do at that point.
To be honest, before the game started, I thought about to tell Umut just do a Götze on the bench, but I didn't tell him. So I feel that the whole game I felt very confident, and it's difficult to describe the whole game. It was like so unreal. We are in the world final. I mean, and after the penalty shootout, it was like, pew. I wrote Umut before the game started. I wrote Umut down in which corners Nico will shoot because I watched some games in the playoffs, and mostly he's shooting to the left, but I thought against Umut sometimes in the middle, and yeah, I think he scored 2 in the middle and 2 in the left.
So you're taking credit for the penalty save? You're taking credit?
The penalty save was Umut himself.
Well, you think they may have gone straight down the middle. Should we remind ourselves of the penalty shootout? Maybe the toughest way to win the World Cup, but Umut did it. Obviously, Nicholas was up first. Kind of went to plan, didn't it, for both of them straight away. Umut then down to the right. Again, did you tell him what to do here, Daniel, which way he should shoot as well?
No,
he figured that out himself?
No.
That's where Nicholas missed, and that was the defining moment, of course.
Yeah.
Umut stepped up again and straight down the middle.
So I think Umut saved it in the right corner because he know that the coach of Nicolas, Fernando, knows that I will analyze everything because Fernando and me are working close together, and I think Umut thought, okay, then he will shoot to the right.
And related to all of this, at RB Leipzig, we obviously have the talent of Umut. We also talk about Anders and just the development in general with different players that are coming out of that training camp. We give a lot of credit to Team Hullet, but what's happening, as you're going to see the winning penalty kick here, what's happening on the back end at RB Leipzig?
It's RB Leipzig is like the whole stuff with all their heart and blood work, and we have so much support. And at Thursday and Friday, we played very early on the day, and in every office at RB Leipzig was a TV, and everybody was watching in Leipzig, so the support is amazing.
And talking about what it takes to become a world champion as well, it didn't just start 4 days ago, it started years ago, I'm sure, from Umut. But where did that newfound, I'm going to say it was newfound, belief come from?
It's a good question. So I think, so the last 2 years, Umut reached to one of the best players in the world. Obviously, he is the best player. Yeah, so I think he's one of the most professional guys I ever met. He's grinding day by day, and he is like, it's an honor to be worked together with him.
I mean, back-to-back German world champions now. How do you hope this will continue to inspire the next generation of German FIFA players?
Yeah, so in Germany we say that you are only a good player when you can show it again. So we will come back next year and we'll show you the trophy again.
3 times lucky is what Daniel is saying for Germany lifting this world trophy. I mean, guys, final words then. We have our new champion. It took quite a while to crown a new champion, but is it, Spencer?
Unbelievable. I think a very well-deserved champion. He's been so good the whole last 4 days. And it's just been such a joy to be back. You know, it's been a long time waiting for this World Cup, as we know. And there's a lot of people in the room, both playing and watching, that, you know, have missed it the last few years. And I think we came back with a bang. We saw fireworks, literally. We saw everything that you could want in a World Cup final. I think we've got everything we want in a world champion as well. So well done to Umut. Commiserations to Nicholas. But remember that pattern. He was last 16, then last 8, then last 4, this year last 2. That tells you next time is Nicholas's time, and I hope we see it because he does deserve it as well.
Yeah, I mean, great job for both our finalists, Umut and Nicholas. Mike, a final word from you on our 2 grand finalists, but of course, Umut, your winner.
Well, I was trying to get away from the particulars, and you came over here and kind of took the words out of my mouth to a certain degree. I'd like to echo a similar sentiment. It just is, it feels so special to be back to LAN events, and this is kind of what it's all about. The online portion of the last couple of years really didn't feel the same, and I don't think it was the same for the competitors that were grinding away. And now that they're back, it's really special. And for everybody that made it here, that's a huge accomplishment, and they should be really proud. I know how critical we can be of our own performances. So much love to all the competitors, and I look forward to running this back next year. And we still have 2 more tournaments over the next couple of weeks.
I know, well said. Well, thanks so much, Spencer, Mike, Daniel as well, and to Richard and Brandon for casting that grand final for us. And, of course, the 32 players that started this journey 4 days ago. But, of course, we could have one World Champion, the FIFAe World Champion for 2022. RB Leipzig's Umit is your champion from Germany. He will take that trophy home with him and the $250,000 check. He's going to have a very nice party tonight with his team. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching and enjoying this journey with us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And actually, we get to do it all again on Wednesday, the 20th of July. We're back again for the FIFAe Club World Cup. You're not going to want to miss that one. It's going to be a cracker. Well, good night for now, wherever you're watching, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Goodbye.